board here on NaVi. Now it's the full buy, and because because basically that second round, how expensive it was, Fnatic, they're still a little limited on their cash.
And look at this great play for Fnatic. I love this. Pushing actually 3 people into upper dark. This is obviously a risk, but they got long covered, so they know it's not going to be an A-rush anyway, because that would have been on long. And now, going to be smoking up Seized and checking out what's going on, leaving Crims, it seems, as the rest are going to be falling back. But this is just, I love this way of playing the B-bomb site.
What the hell? This is insane. And then they rotate back into mid. So Crim starts stepping around. Seized is close enough to hear this, so... But then Seized can't be sure. You know, he's like, okay, I hear footsteps, but did he back off? Or is he still lurking up there? What's going on here? This is going to buy so much time for Fnatic to get into position.
Well, that's exactly it. Right now, NaVi, they've got to be so confused. So Fnatic could probably guess that someone will have heard that they're there, but now NaVi have to check everything. And they also have to wonder, has our strategy been revealed? Whatever we're doing on the other side, do we have to cancel that? They are going to be falling back into a very common setup here, which is 2 on B, 2 on long, and 1 on A. See if that's going to work out. Right now, NaVi could definitely be setting up for a bit of a B split here.
With these steps, though, Crims might be close enough to hear these going off in lower dark right now. So this is information. You can see Olafmeister kind of focusing up on mid doors. He wants to be in position, and now we've rotated back into a 2-1-2. Olafmeister is able to go through CT to get to A site quickly, but he can also rotate through to B very quickly here to support his boys. But with 25 seconds left, standard for NaVi. Of course, run that clock down as much as possible, and then the push begins with a single Molotov. That's it. Then it's holding close, though. Only a 1-for-1 trade. Crims has to come in big, and again, he does. Does big damage, takes out Edward, and he drops 2 players low. Then the flash comes in from Olaf, and it's a complete and utter slaughter. Near perfect hold for Fnatic. Actually, I'll give them the perfect. Dennis dies, but he did such a great job just buying a little bit of time, setting up that combo for Crims there to come in, and then Crims just stays alive forever.
Yeah, and another nice triple kill for Olafmeister, but also, I think, really significantly, you said Crims doing damage, also waiting for the pop flash to come in to peek out again. Just small things, but they're very important. If he'd kept taking that fight, maybe Olaf would have thrown the flashbang for nothing, and they would have smoked him off, so... Really, really good teamwork there. 4-0 right now, moving into the 5th round, and we've got Tech9s and a Deagle there on Edward. But yeah, NaVi off to a slow start here on Dust2, in spite of some decent-looking rounds.
And those are back-to-back near-perfect rounds as well for Fnatic, so the money's going to be incredible for them. They save Guardians up as well, so JW, he just saved 4750. I mean, life isn't about to get any easier here for NaVi anytime soon. They need to win back-to-back rounds here to actually have an impact on the Swedish economy. So let's see if they're going to be able to pull that off with the Tech9s. Unfortunately, JW, he's expecting somebody close lower dark, so he does give up top mid. He might have been able to get a pick there. Now he has to wait and see if anybody's going to be pushing up catwalk, but a perfectly timed flash forces him off the angle and allows NaVi to get up there scot-free.
I mean, A-bomb site's definitely not the best place to use all these pistols. If they're going into sort of an afterpart situations and they've got Tech9s fighting, then B-bomb site I think would be more interesting, but it's also going to be harder to take, so... Maybe they just want to play for the bomb part and see if they could get lucky at the end. Zeus dropping low a little bit. He's going to end up going down to JW. Actually a pistol and not even the AWP being put into play. Olaf, he's going to get 1 kill before he gets traded. And they are sort of lining up here. Edward going to get 1 more headshot in. Dennis also dropping fairly low, but it's still going to be a 1-on-3 here with Seized in the middle, hoping to be the backstab and whatever retake was going to happen if the bomb had gone down, which it didn't. So 5-0 and the 6th round coming up, and it's another AWP for Guardian. That's now 2 in 5 rounds, so it's not too bad. Still got some kind of economy going on.
Yeah, they're able to get a full buy again, but again, you guys can see the big difference here between both of these teams. And yeah, because they have so much money, Olafmeister, you start off the round with 10,000. He goes for the double op now. So on the CT side, Fnatic, they decide, okay, we've played 2 rounds with rifles. Now NaVi have gotten a bit of a feel for that. Let's go ahead and change things up, try and catch them off guard here. Without, before NaVi actually pick up a round and feel like they're going to have us under pressure, we're just going to go ahead and change our game. Really make it difficult here for NaVi to deal with us. Nice nade here onto Edward, doing a little bit of damage, down to 73. And Olafmeister, you can move in behind this, and it's perfect, Edward. Never expecting the aggression. And now NaVi have to be wondering, wait a second, Olaf had the op? Does that mean that JW dropped it to him? Or are we actually going up against that double AWP? NaVi have to be a little bit worried here.
Oh, definitely. I think you're right as well to point out the diversity in Fnatic setup here. It's definitely very important. Zeus going to be getting a refrag there on Flusher, so they get something in return, but he himself has dropped down to 11 health, so they are still a bit behind. And Fnatic with a bit of a trap setup over at B as well. They got 2 players, and one of them in the corner and one behind all the way in the back of the site. So either way, it's going to be tricky for Na'Vi. The one thing that will break this is if they actually split B instead of just running straight in. If they come in through window and door, that's going to make life really tough, I think, for the players. And actually, to counteract that, Crims is jumping to see it. This is all just very smart, isn't it?
So that means that JW's holding in Snake right now, that little corner that's next to Dark. Yeah, he's here with the AWP.
And he's got a Molotov. So he can buy time. If he gets the first kill, he can put up that Molotov and, yeah. Well, he's actually, well, they're both going to smoke it off, so a bit of a mistake.
Miscommunication, but there's 20 seconds left. It doesn't really matter. They're just going to go charging through here. NaVi, they're running out of time. They've got a man pushed up to top Dark, and that's actually top mid, and Zeus is able to pick off Dennis, who flanked from long. But with only 10 seconds left, they're going to have 10 seconds, and he misses the jump, Flamey. He needs to get up here. They're just not going to have the time, NaVi.
No, they're definitely not. Olaf gets caught, 6 seconds left. They cannot win this round. The time is simply out. So Siege with the bomb and CT spawn. They get all the kills they needed. They just did not have the time. What a heartbreaking way to begin this first half. I mean, one thing is losing the pistol like they did. You can recover from that. But this round should have been theirs if they just had another 10 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been perfect. There was a single man, and they managed. That was Olafmeister, and they managed to flank him from long as well. So the whole site is opened up. It's going to come down to an impossible retake from B. And well, it just doesn't pan out for NaVi. Sometimes, I mean, it's very rare that you see NaVi run out of time like this, because they're like famous for actually executing with like 20 seconds left and making it work, getting in there, getting the bomb plant down just in the nick of time, and then winning the round, right? This time around is one of the few times that we actually see NaVi really just wind up stumped. And again, the aggression, man, Fnatic, they're just showing no respect to NaVi. Continuous pushes all across the map. Last round, it was Olafmeister taking an aggressive peek into Longhouse. Again, this time it's aggression in Upper Dark.
JW right on the corner. He just wants to see that one shoulder, and sees is going to give it to him, and that's all they needed. And you're right, a lack of respect, but also just, I mean, a completely different setup. Like, again, someone should spend the time doing this. Try and get like a screenshot of the beginning of every round for Fnatic here on the CT side, and just look how different it is every time. Just enough that NaVi kept guessing, and Olafmeister going to be picking up Edward. Flick from Guardian, doesn't quite connect. And this has gone horrible right now for the NaVi team. 6-0. Remember, Fnatic playing on the CT side here. I think Fnatic are going to be even stronger, I think, on the T side. I think they're going to have a better time.
And these steps, Dennis hears these steps. So he's close enough to be able to hear the rotation coming through, or at least he knows that a man is up in T-spawn now. So all he has to do is sit here and wait. He's got the advantage of positioning, and now Flamey is basically trying to back off as well. Given where the bomb was dropped, it's impossible for NaVi to make anything happen. And again, they're just going to try and run down this clock and survive. But Dennis is so close, he's going to be able to pounce. As soon as this clock ticks over, he should be right out these doors looking for a fight. But it looks like Flamey might be giving it to him just a little bit too soon here. There's the angle. He gets spotted. Information. Guardian rotates back around as well. 5 seconds left here, left on this clock. And the push is coming in from T-spawn. 2 shots ring out from NaVi. And it does look like they'll be able to just barely hold on to their stuff here. JW, can he make it around the corner? He does! He gets the kill on Flamey.
That's ridiculous. He actually picks that up. It what seemed like the sort of the round had already switched over.
And look at the impact. I mean, Flamey, he lives through the time. And as a terrorist, if you live through that clock, you don't get any money at the end of the round. So he's down to $1,100. What can he do after this? I mean, he could go Tech 9 Kevlar, no helmet, just straight up. Or just go Deagle and a couple of nades.
I think Vugo is briefly out of it, and that actually allows us to just bring up the fact that the coaches are actually in the background. If you see the monitor right there behind both NaVi and Fnatic, that's Vugo and Star respectively, who are actually on the server with them. That's something that ESL set up specifically for this, and it's a super cool idea. I think it's a really good initiative that they could be right there with them. So,
well, it makes it so much easier now because you actually have these coaches like Threat, for example, you know, who are calling the shots. For them to be in game, it makes a huge difference for them. It's so difficult to actually call effectively if you're standing behind your teammates. Oh. There's the flash, and that actually saves Dennis. And he walks up, but he's not going to be able to actually do anything with this. Bit surprised by the decision to go aggressive in this round when NaVi.
Well, again, if you were building that chart at home of all the different CT site setups, then you could add this one. You know, I think it's just a matter at this point of making sure that NaVi are kept guessing every single time, which is maybe also why NaVi are playing this round so defensively early on, because they're just like, we don't even know what Fnatic are doing anymore. Let's just play really defensively, make sure they don't catch us anywhere. And the first, I think, almost the first sign of light here for the NaVi team.
Oh, this is a sick setup. JW is holding close. If that flash goes through, there's the flash, and that actually got all 3 of them. But now He's looking to get lucky through that wall. Oh man, unfortunately, Crims he's like blocking off that angle, so he can't really go hard into it.
Yeah, but will it trick them to think that Crims isn't in the corner? No, it won't. Flame, you're going to check it anyway.
That's why...
See those shots coming, you could have thought, well, it's not going to be anyone in the corner, and then is there?
Well, I mean, JW eventually had to back off to hold the site, but that's why I thought... All right, because that flash comes out, it doesn't flash JW, it flashes Crims, but then if JW's there to hold the angle, Flamey never makes it through those doors, he's dead instantly. So, a little bit surprised that, I mean, the timing worked out perfectly for Na'Vi to try and go aggressive and push.
Well, 2-on-4 with the bomb down as well. AWP potentially to save here. I think JW just saw Guardian in the middle, but it was a bit too late, and now it's all on, all off. And he's been having a kind of a ridiculously good game so far, but he is going to end up going down with, say, just a double kill. That makes it 7-1, and he's at 13-1-5 right now. So, it's still not too bad here, but that's the first round that NaVi are going to pick up here on Dust2, and they are best-of-1 games here. You can't afford to lose too many.
Yeah, full round robin as well, guys. So everybody's going to play everybody in the groups. It's 2 groups of 6 teams. And so, yeah, every shot matters. HE goes off to block it, and then Guardian looks like he just barely spotted out the man trying to take that fight in mid. Of course, it's going to be JW. And look at this aggression from Na'Vi. They just go powering through JW. Is he going to turn around in time? Does he realize somebody's through on me? Slope, yes. And he's calling it out to his teammate now as well. There's going to be a crossfire in a second here. And there it is. Olafmeister, he's there to save the day. But Crims, it's fine. Back off. He's waiting for the flash. He goes in for the peek, but he's playing it safe. And now, Fnatic, they should have an excellent retake coming in here because they have more than enough men to put a couple into Upper Dark and really get that pincer going into this B site.
What a strange and confusing push coming out of Na'Vi this round. Where's the smoke in CT spawn? Where's the coordination with the people running Upper Dark? What is even happening right now here on the T side? They're going to get the bomb down, and somehow they will still get into a 3v5 after plant. Fnatic have 2 Molotovs, which means some of these positions that Na'Vi are holding right now are going to be hard to sustain. And Guardian, out of them, this is one of them back here. He might not be able to stand there for too long.
And they're so good. This is such a hard position for Guardian to hold as well. You can see him worrying about multiple angles. Molotov goes down. That forces him out. He's just roasting. He's down to 9 HP. And it's just flashes, everything getting chucked in here. They're putting up a good fight, Na'Vi. At least they get a couple of kills in. But then it's just that manpower, that extra manpower and all the utility. Fnatic, they take no risks. They don't just run in there and try and take aim battles. No, they have all these flashes and Molotovs. They just make life as difficult as possible for Na'Vi there in that situation.
Look, I was being super salty on Twitter here a couple of days ago because I was getting really annoyed at people not defending B-bomb site properly. And Fnatic have shown us like a bunch of different ways of doing it, right? They push 3 people up a dark. It's not like we've never seen that before, but just, a lot of teams have just stopped doing it for no reason at all. This was actually a retake on the B-bomb side, which is very, very rare. Like, no one wants to actually retake B-bomb side. Admittedly, they were 3-on-5, so maybe the choice was a little bit easier to make. But then the fact that they'd saved the Molotovs makes it so much easier. So if you are going to be playing retake B, which I almost hesitate to say that, retake A is actually a real strat. Yeah. Retake B is more like something else went wrong, so let's just retake B. YOLO. But if you're going to do it, then at least have some Molotovs left that you can actually force out those corners with. I don't know. I mean, it's not surprising that Fnatic are playing well, but it's always just a little bit scary how much goes into it, right? And Guardian, if he hadn't been Molotov over in that corner, he could have done a lot of damage. And
exactly.
It's not going to start off well for Flamey this round. He ends up dropping to JW in the middle.
And they've got that double AWP set up as well. Seized already got tagged earlier on. He's down to 26. Double op versus double op. JW, he does get dropped a little bit low here, but it's still a man advantage now for Fnatic. They can fall back, and they go back to the 2-1-2 setup. They let and this is, you know, you're talking about retake B, retake A. This is kind of that approach here from Fnatic. If you focus on long and make sure you control long, absolutely. Interesting little bit of flash there, actually, to clear out Longhouse as well. But then the incendiary goes in. That's going to buy more time here. But if Fnatic can control long and really hold on to this angle, they shouldn't have any trouble coming into it afterwards to get that retake going.
They need to get this first kill on Dennis, but he's been playing pretty well. Edward, I think, did he just flash himself? He might have Dennis in the corner here. He sees it. The gun barrel sees, doesn't get the crossing kill, and that's going to make it really tough. They're pushing Catwalk, but they needed the push on long to work as well. Yeah, and Edward's own smoke works against Seized. He actually can't hunt down Dennis. Dennis just uses that smoke, gets away to safety, and then it's impossible. Oh. Guardian hits a jump shot onto JW, though. Well, JW was jumping. But again, they're just running out of time here, Na'Vi. They're really looking stumped versus the aggression that's coming out from Fnatic. Another attempt at a wall bang. Guardian holding that angle, just daring them to come around the corner, but Fnatic realized there's no reason to throw away guns needlessly. That would be an impossible situation to try and rush them down there through that choke. So 16-1-7 for Olaf. And I mean, you bring up the point about not throwing guns away. Fnatic, they're 9-1, and they're starting their economy is amazing. So we can sort of almost deduce from that. And NaVi, they haven't been playing completely devastatingly bad here, but starts off well this round. Crim's going to be going down. That was Guardian getting the straight shot through. Headshot as well, and that is going to be it. But yeah, they just need some consecutive rounds here, and maybe they could actually force Fnatic's eco.
That was a pretty sick shot from Guardian. Gonna give it to him. JW, he will get flashed off the angle again. It seems like NaVi are pretty familiar with his tactics, holding on that B slope, looking up towards Catwalk. Now NaVi and this quasi-buy, I mean, it's a force buy basically from them. They've got the Tech 9 Kevlar, they have the double op. Now we have to see if they can hit that timing right here. JW just waiting for the peak. Flushes here as well, and they hear the footsteps as well now. So JW, he switches back to that AWP, doesn't want to get caught with a nade in his hand. But NaVi, they're just unwilling to commit anywhere. It's just a quick peek, see if you can catch somebody. No? Okay, then change it up. We have a little bit of info to go off of.
And look at the mad risk that Fnatic are taking in this round. They're leaving nobody at B in a 4 versus 5. So if NaVi push B, this round is done. And I think actually Fnatic might just think if they push B, we're just going to save our rifles anyway, so to hell with it. But instead, they got 3 people stacked at A, and that means now NaVi pushing into a pretty decent defense. Olaf just needs to buy time, gets a shot on Flamey, and flushes there as well. This has gone horribly wrong for NaVi. Finally, a bit of a reply there. Su's picking up 2 with the Tech 9, a third one as well. And it's going to be JW alone in a 1-on-3, trying to see if he can make it back, but he can't. Su's going to catch him for the quad kill. What a power round coming out of Sus, and that's what they need. And they needed it a while ago, but it happened finally.
We can see what we can tell already what's going on here with NaVi, and that again comes down to that mental block sort of situation, where we're seeing the difference between when they have rifles and when they're on pistols. When they have, like, on the rifles, they're clearly just too worried to actually commit anywhere, and it's slowing down their game. Whereas when you have the pistol, you get that little, just a hint of YOLO, right? You kind of run in there, you look for fights that you wouldn't take normally. Zeus charges onto that site and just looks for those headshots, going ham. And that's what we're seeing from NaVi. The 2 rounds that they've won have been when they've had pistols and they've had less pressure on themselves, whereas they just seem to struggle when they actually have the rifles. So NaVi need to figure out, okay, how in a rifle round can we actually feel like we're playing just with pistols? You know, just to have that confidence, that courage to just run out there and take fights.
I mean, this is I think a common thing, isn't it? That you end. I mean, I think it's exactly what you just said. People play with just a little bit less pressure. You feel more inclined to just take the fight, running with the Tech 9 like that, and it sometimes does work out. We're into the 13th round. It's going to be another bit of mid-aggression coming out of Fnatic here.
A little bit of a shot going there on the Guardian. Flamey looking to see if he can't trade, and it's not going to happen. Now that NaVi have started to show a little bit of resistance here, Fnatic, they haven't really gone for that upper dark push, the early round upper dark push for a couple of rounds now. Instead, it's just JW kind of camping around in mid. There was a little bit of a presence over on Catwalk as well, and it seems like they haven't totally given up on that yet, but yeah, JW is just content to sit here, and there's Guardian, and this time Guardian, he crouches in, and JW's aiming right over his shoulder. So again, here now NaVi actually have an edge. They have an advantage. We have to see if they can take advantage of it now and actually be able to push up onto this site. Dennis, he's in no man's land. He's alone.
Yeah, very much so. He could get flashed in by a teammate, maybe in spawn there. He's going to be moving forward, turns around for a second. He's going to win the first fight. That's the bomb down, but Guardian there with a swift reply. Great grenade, though. Brings him down low, and Flusher playing close here. And that's a scout in his hand, so they've got to be careful with that jumping. Olaf maybe a bit too aggressive on the flank, and so is Crims, and it's going to be around for NaVi here, making it 9-4. I feel like this string of rounds needed to happen in the 5th or 6th round for them to have a reasonable game here.
Yeah, I was wondering, I was trying to watch on the little screen there, you know, the little image that we get of the team, who's actually talking on the team right now, because that seemed like a little bit of miscommunication there as the timing for Olafmeister, because Olafmeister just ran up there as if they had already committed to Catwalk.
Yeah.
He was not expecting there to be 3 people waiting for him there. So, yeah, I wonder if there was a little bit of miscommunication, perhaps from Dennis, perhaps from Flusha, telling him, oh, you know, they're up on the side, they're already pushing, you know, they've committed, and so Olafmeister got punished there.
Easy push for the 2 people there running into B, because they had seized in spawn, actually spotting out how many people crossed, and they knew it was just JW, so should be no problem here. The bomb's back in spawn, though.
The hell was that?
Seized dies. This is going to be the most awful turn of events for NaVi. He takes the fight, and no head armor there on Olaf, on Dennis, so he goes down. And now it is all on Olaf for the ace clutch in a round where they only have pistols. Not going to happen. Guardian will take him out, and it will be 9-5.
Yeah, no fun. No fun allowed. Now the Guardian's starting to wake up a little bit. Of course, Guardian, he's leading the way for his team right now, 12-0-9. And they go back to the double AWP. So yeah, Navi really just favoring the strategy. I mean, Seized, we haven't really seen too much flash from him with that op so far. He is kind of struggling a little bit.
5 ops.
But yeah, whatever.
It's
You
the
got the
final
money.
round.
You got the money, go for it. Live life a little bit, right?
And only one of them fires in the middle.
How the hell does that happen?
Absolutely love it. Then why even buy
Wait,
them?
what? Oh, Seized over at Long. I think the Fnatic were not expecting them to push Long so aggressively. If they heard, maybe that was it. Maybe they just took a couple shots. Maybe it's like ultra mind game.
It could have been.
Oh,
no!
no!
It was actually Flush's grenade that caught him, but Seized. Oh no!
See that turnaround where he's just like, oh no.
Yeah, I'm dead here now. This is my spot in the world for another second. Flamey going to be taking down Olofmeister as well, and we're looking for a bit of a good round here for Navi once again. So, I mean, all things considering, and especially how close some of the earlier rounds were, they started off looking really bad for Navi, but they're definitely catching up now. JW with a great frag, though, coming in onto Guardian there. Where he's back into a 3-on-3. Flusher trying to take the fight, but Edward going to shut him down. It was a nice shot, JW here. No scope, AWP jump shot. No, we're not going to get it. Edward is killing all the fun for us, Semler, and it's going to be all up to Crims.
Yeah, I think he was trying. He was trying to get that. Let's see, Crims. He's so consistent as the clutcher as well for Fnatic, but a 1v3 where the bomb is planted for long already. He's at a bit of a disadvantage coming through this angle. He will hear Edward commit to this fight. Bit of a surprising play there from Edward, but Edward knows that the crossfire is established and he has faith in his teammates to be able to just lock this down. Crims should get nowhere near this bomb site. And you can see him just trying to check all these angles before he actually commits to it, but Flamey's in... What? The pre-fire? No way, Crims! Okay, Zeus, he puts an end to it, but... that pre-fire around the angle.
Look at Crims just laughing as well in that corner. That smile. Wipe that smile off your face, Crims. That's completely absurd.
And if he'd have hit Zeus, if he'd have got the headshot on Zeus there, that would have been one of the clutches of the year, pretty much flat out. Boy, he's just gotta shake his head.
I don't even know what to say.
All right, what do you do against that? Edward, okay, fine. Edward dies. Yeah, that happens. But Flavy, he's got to be sitting there thinking, I got this, guys. There's nothing he can do, and then he's just dead.
That just seems like such a solid crossfire as well. What a scary way to start off. Well, smoke goes off to the headshot box there, just like Navi did it. We're in the second half here. First game of Intel Extreme Masters, and we've got Edward on the corner of Long, missing shots. And they're actually going to allow him to get back. If they just rush him there, there's a chance they can catch him if they're quick enough, and he won't make it back around. So, decent enough job, really, to stay safe. Long-range fight, Glock versus USP, and Fnatic going to come out on bottom this time. It's Flamey and Zeus to start off. Nice shot from Zeus. P2000 still in hand. And the bomb is down.
What is going on with Zeus? He's doing so much work right now, and now the bomb is, well, basically stuck on catwalk. Zeus decides to press forward. He's got 3 kills so far. Olofmeister chiming in, but Olofmeister, he's so very low. They can't seem to get the last bullet on him, though. Finally, Zeus, he steps out. Quad kill in the pistol round here, in the CT round for Navi.
You know what? Because we've brought up this point a couple of times in the past. We've sort of said, well, Zeus was the in-game leader, and that role is sort of evaporated from the team. I mean, sure, he has an opinion, he can probably still make some calls, but StarX is taking over a lot of that anyway.
Yes.
So, you know, Zeus never contributed his team so much as a top fragger. So if he can't transition into that role, well, then would it be better for NaVi to pick up somebody else? I actually think in the past months, I think Zeus has proven that he can actually be a very valuable player, even in that sense. So that's quite impressive. That must be very hard for someone like Zeus to try and, you know, if you think about the entirety of his career across 1.6 to 12, to suddenly, you know, give up a little bit of that and then do something else, he seems to be doing quite well.
It's a similar situation that we've seen with Existence now that Shoxy's on the team as well. I think Shox took over a little bit of the calling on G2, and so yeah, you see these callers who have had all the pressure on their shoulders. Now they finally get to kick back a little bit, relax, just focus on their crosshairs. And yeah, Zeus is one of those players who seems to have really benefited from StarX taking over the reins. Although I still think that he gets pretty frustrated sometimes. Like there's a little bit of a tilt element that's still there in the game for him.
Well, I think that just goes back to like NaVi generally being an emotional team when it comes to stuff like that, right? Which is something they should be working on. But this kind of a start, unless they screw something up here in this 5 versus 3, it's probably going to land them a tied scoreline, 9-9, and then it's up to Fnatic to get back in the game quick.
It's a nice flash, but okay, never mind. Crim's sick wallbang headshot onto Zeus. But they don't know that there's a second man here. Nope, Crims is ready for it. It's Olofmeister who gets the headshot on Guardian instead. Now Flamey pushing up. It's still a 2-on-3 now. They do manage to find the kill, and Seized and Flamey just doing work. And it's coming down to Crims playing a game of peekaboo where he risks everything. He's just trying to stay alive, and the knife comes in from Seized. Jumping Hollywood straight in. Crouching Swede, hidden dragon. I don't know, man, dude. That was some crazy stuff right there. Seized, what a beast.
Yeah, that was a nice way to start off the second half. Why not? Stabbing Crims in the face. 8-9. And the money, well, Fnatic do want to give themselves a bit of a chance. Nobody even saving, it seems, for an AWP.
Bit surprising right now. I mean, it seems like Fnatic are only really in this game because of Olofmeister at this point. I mean, JW's had some shots, Crims as well, but like, Olaf is the only one who's really deep into double digits, whereas the rest of them still kind of floating around single. It's a bit toasty in that room, but it's all right. JW can hang.
Fnatic, single flashbang, I think, on Flusher, so they've got something they could do up here on Catwalk. Make it in, get the bomb down, stuff like that. Again, just a single flash, and they're gonna use it to peek. So if anyone had been there and was re-peeking, maybe a chance for a headshot.
Oh. Guardian a bit scared there. The flashes come out there. That keeps him alive, and Zeus is here to support. Zeus will just be like fearless, pushing forward onto that A site, looking to deny it, and it's Seized with the jump shot again. Seized, jumping knife, jumping shot with the FAMAS. It's all good. Fnatic, they are a little bit like that. Bonus money would have been fantastic for them. It means that Dennis could have had full set of nades to go with it. They would have had a few more Molotovs to play with here, but it's still not going to stop Fnatic from actually picking up the double op. Okay, that's what I was wondering. If Olofmeister goes for the op right off the bat, fair enough. JW could go for the rifle or go for some kind of, clever kind of weapon. He's the guy who kind of just uses all the weapons in the game. But JW decides to go glass cannon straight up, and Dennis just charges right into mid, looking to catch somebody off guard with this aggression. He's going to get spotted, though. The element of surprise is gone. And look at this fast B-split. They're just rushing out fearlessly, Fnatic.
They get the good trade early on now. Just one member back here, and that's Flamey, and he's going to have to go huge here. JW picking up Edward. Sue's going down in spawn. Crims nearly with the kill. Guardian on 1 health, and all around is still going to be a 1v2 here. I don't see Guardian making this work, but looks... Oh, he's actually going to take the fight with a pistol, but Olofmeister going to shoot him in the leg eventually. If he had got the kill on Olof, that could have legitimately been a scary round for Fnatic, but it does go the Swedish way. And now be able to pick up another AWP here, and actually 2 of them.
Yeah, now they're going to go back to it. It's crazy how both of these teams, I mean, they're showing that they're willing to go for the double op on both sides. No fear, straight into it as well, really early on in the half. Whereas sometimes you see teams go for the double op as like a last-ditch, ace up their sleeve kind of maneuver, where they try and play 4 rifles, a single op, but then if things get really tough, they'll go for the double op. But now both of these teams really showing that they're willing to make that a core strategy. So long as they have the money, they will go for the double op as the main option. And Seized is also consistent. If you put him over on that B site, he can just hold that off alone, and it allows NaVi to have much more of a focus on mid and get that defense set up over on the A site. It's almost similar to like Inferno kind of style of CT, where you're just gambling on A, and then you just try and hit that timing to rotate back over to B to support your mate there.
Bit of an odd setup, I think, for NaVi here. I mean, Fnatic had a similar setup where they had one guy hiding over at B, but they had a backup plan for that, right? They had, I think it was Crims or something inside the bomb site to distract them. This time it's just a single person, so if Seized loses this fight, all hell is going to break loose.
They've got Flamey boosted up in CT though, so you can look over the mid smoke. But Fnatic, they're not interested in that mid smoke, and instead they're just going to push right out onto the site. Seized nearly gets clipped, down to 15 HP right off the bat. The timing was impeccable for Fnatic to move through, and then with the smoke going down, how are they not able to kill this guy?
So I think NaVi just going to give up this round. I mean, what else could they really do? Su's going to get a kill there. Well, that might spark them to try and do something. The bomb is only just down, and with the added round timers or the bomb timer, might be interesting here. Zeus, flashbang on in. Crims is up there and waiting, and with the Galil close range, going to win the fight.
Superior angle for Crims, but that was the key frag right there. Still, man advantage going into this for NaVi. They lose Zeus, but they still have a 2-man advantage going into this, or rather the man, and Edward coming in from T-Spawn basically seals the deal here. Crims doesn't have any way out. Olofmeister's going to battle his way through, and they will not be collecting the round, NaVi, but they can certainly do some damage here. Flamey, he just barely misses out on Olofmeister making it into T-Spawn, but he still has his mate Guardian up there watching the angle. And Guardian, is he going to run into Olaf? They might have that duel up there.
Oh, yeah.
Instead, it's Flamey catching Flusha somehow. Flusha, was there can't remember an op dying down there. Perhaps it was JW? They got caught by Zeus, and that led to him trying to get down there to pick up a gun?
Yeah, I think so. Well, it's just a strange round. I mean, I think it was just the timing simply. Seized, walking out of the bomb site up in window, and I don't know. I don't like the setup anyway that NaVi were going for in this round. I think it's too much relies on the first couple of kills, right, basically. Zeus going to run into 3 people in Upper Dark. Had a perfect weapon for it, but just too many targets up there. It's going to be another good start for Fnatic.
I think what it boils down to is Seized deciding to focus on mid to help Flamey out. Perhaps because Flamey said that the smoke went down on B slope, so it's not the standard CT split smoke, and so Seized is wondering, do I need to help my mate? Is that going to be an issue here? That's where it all breaks down. But still, NaVi, I mean, they should be able to shake that off. The fact that they lost the opening kill here shouldn't be the end of the world. They just need to keep their cool. They are hitting their shots right now. So we have to see Fnatic, they go back to more of a default approach to spread out across the map right now, holding all the points to make sure that NaVi can't push. Because when you get to that minute mark is when you could kind of expect, the CT side to try and take a little bit of a risk just to get some info. Instead, NaVi, they're just electing to hold all the points very securely on their side. They're confident in their aim and willing to just let Fnatic come into the fight. 2 players over on that B site, single man on Catwalk and a single man holding Long, and Long isn't where the action's going to be. It's going to be all on Seized here with the AWP as they come around Catwalk. There's the first shot. Dennis goes down, but now Fnatic, they're so quick, they're explosive, they're going to be right behind him, but Seized manages to get back into a solid position here with this AWP. Now he can back off to Long after taking the first shot to make sure that they hold on to that and then can go into the retake.
Oh, Olaf jumping down, actually, going to get real close to Long, and he shuts down Seized, and now Edward, he wants to go for it. JW playing the lurking role right now, and he hears that walk away as well. The easiest kill of JW's life about to come. Oh, actually, he misses the chance. That should have been such an easy kill. Now you got to wonder a little bit. He runs right into Flamey instead and ends up going down. So 3-on-3, are they going to go for the retake? They don't have a lot of time, and actually don't have a kid picked up either, so that might be the deciding difference here. What a strange round, because as long as they had Seized on Long, it looked like everything was going to be fine. Yeah. But Olaf was allowed to jump into CT spawn without anybody even seeing him.
Yeah, Seized not able to spot it. Seized just like hanging out around there. It seemed like Seized was a little indecisive as to when he wanted to back off. Olaf took the fight to him, and that was it. So 3-on-3, and again, Fnatic, they managed to actually eke out a win here. And this is going to have a little bit of an impact on NaVi. They should be able to drop for the next round, so they should have a bye. This is still far too close for comfort. Money is really low on the CT side. It's not fantastic on Fnatic's side either. So, I mean, this is still neck and neck. NaVi definitely not out of this. It's just that Fnatic now, in these kind of like clutch kind of rounds, basically, where it comes down to, are you going to take the fight or not, right? Show us if you're confident. They keep winning these kinds of situations, and that's really going to start messing with NaVi's head. Oh, this is one way to change it up.
Oh, Edward still picks up the kill. That drops the bomb. There's still another 2 people here for the NaVi team. If they can isolate that bomb in the corner, you see JW trying to get that bomb out of there. But they are going to win the fight eventually. Guardian still in play with the AWP, and if they continue to push A right now, And you've got to appreciate Fnatic slowing it down as much as they are.
Yeah, no reason to. No reason to now. They had the skirmish. They came out way ahead. All of the utility nearly used up here for NaVi. And with a minute 20 on this clock now, it's going to really come down to NaVi, you know, having to get lucky. And you can see Flamey kind of hanging around mid doors. He might push, and that's it. Missed shot by Olaf. He doesn't get the wallbang either. I thought that was on.
Yeah, that looked like it was going to be on.
But still, I mean, that could have been it right there. That would have finished the round, because now, well, Fnatic could have pushed onto B for free had Flamey gone down.
Yeah, and you bring up Flamey, and you brought up the utility as well, and I think you're right. The problem is he doesn't have anything here. He can't, you know, put up a Molotov or a flashbang or anything like that. In this corner, he has to get 2 kills. 1 is not enough. So that's just a lot on his plate right now. 40 seconds left. Fnatic made their way in, but now we do have another player coming in, actually. Up in the window, it's Guardian with the AWP. Flamey going to take the first shot. Now Guardian, are they going to be spotting for him? Oh, they will be, and they get both the kills simultaneously. Crims and Olive trusting each other.
Yes.
If you look the other way and you both look window, you're going to lose the round. But some really good team play there, and that C's now, I mean, he can't do a thing. Fnatic about to get 13.
Fnatic are just so good at knowing what they need to do in each given situation. And you're right,
Yeah.
it's just like they have that ultimate trust in one another. You can tell it's just like, I'm going to sit and hold this angle, and I'm going to trust. If I die, it's because you messed up, but I'm going to trust in you to hold your angle, and it works because of it. Just because they're able to actually make sure, you know, they just know that each one is watching the right spot, and then it's just, bam, perfectly done. NaVi fall right into it. And we will have attack pause, I think, coming up here for NaVi. They're looking a little dejected over there on their side of things, so we might actually have to have a bit of a discussion here on their part to see what they can come up with, because the money, if we bring it up, the money is not going to be good for NaVi right now. And it's like, it is forced by territory, but it's not an ideal one. I mean, Edward's the only one with 4,000. They save a gun, but even then, it's not an AWP, it's just a single AK. C's could drop a FAMAS for somebody, and then that means some decent nades on 2 players, but then the rest of them, it's going to be a little touch and go.
How many rounds have they lost in a row here? Because that's...
Quite a few.
Yeah, if they lose the next one, it's going to be a 5th, right? That matters because if they force now, then they're going to need the round loss to sort of make it up, you know? So if they force now, then they will essentially have another force buy of a similar caliber next round, because they'll get 3,400 plus whatever, you know, whatever kind of money they get from shooting people. So, I mean, they could have a similar style force up in the next round anyway. So the question is, do you want to go for 2 force ups, or do you want to sort of, you know, just even out the money on this round? And I mean, I think might go for that.
So the question is, like, do you have faith in your ability to hold when Fnatic are at 14? And that's what NaVi right now are discussing. It's just like, we go for the force because we need to have that 1 round of buffer before Fnatic get up onto that 14th round. We stop them at 13, we got a chance, because maybe we falter a little bit later on, we lose a round, but then we can come back into it, and it's not overtime, it's not match point.
But rather than going for the double force, they sort of even out the money, because again, 3,400 bonus. They know that in the next round they're going to have money, even at 1,200 there on Guardian. That's enough to make it work.
They give themselves a little bit of a fighting chance here. Now it comes down to whether Fnatic recognize what's actually going on in this situation. If they go for a default kind of hold, or if they kind of move around as a group, in what you should expect from a team dealing with an anti-eco situation. You don't want to just go, you know, split up and take a bunch of dual fights where maybe you drop a rifle to NaVi and you get caught off guard. Fnatic are usually pretty good about sticking together and making sure that they move together as that unit, so that if a CZ comes around a corner, he maybe only gets the 1, and if that.
JW trolling a little bit. I think maybe they could hear each other a tiny bit.
That's whether they understand each other.
I doubt it. I don't know how much JW's been brushing up on his Ukrainian, but still.
I mean, you know, we're all fluent from matchmaking, right? So
that is a good point. C's going to be falling back quick here on the catwalk. Looked like a lot of speed for Fnatic early on, but they have slowed it down since. Still, means they get a bit more map control, allows them to do more things, especially in the middle. Don't want to be splitting B if there's a guy on catwalk from the CT side. That's not fun.
And this is and Fnatic are just moving together as a pair. Crossfires everywhere. 3rd man there to back up and watch for CT as well. Edward's going to get right behind B slope, but he's going to step right out into Crims. CZ75, not the best gun to have in that kind of long-range fight, but Zeus and Guardian working together there to pick up the kill in mid. Not going to save Zeus's life, though. And that's a perfect situation there for Fnatic. What a way to handle that kind of... I mean, it's just... That's how you anti-eco. You just stick together as a unit, and then you bring the rifles to bear. So the guy's there with the CZ, sure, but then you have 2 AKs unloading in his face, and there's just no way out. Guardian gets caught by Crims, and Fnatic, they just handled that masterfully.
So what we need now is close. I mean, it has to be close to 7 rounds in a row for Na'Vi. They have the money for it. They go for the AWP. There's not going to be any armor on Guardian. Don't think that has too much of an impact. He's playing CT side with an AWP. That's going to be just fine. But they need some strong early kills. And more than anything, they need to force Fnatic to eco so they get some of these rounds for free.
Olaf expects it to come from B slope, that peak. But the smoke going down, that'll tell him. And now, actually, this is going to slow Fnatic down. Exactly. You can see the man all the way in lower dark, and what a flash combo coming in. Edward just hunts JW down. But this is perfectly timed from Na'Vi, because the focus from Fnatic is actually going to be, wait, there's a smoke that's cutting off lower dark. They might be pushing mid into lower dark right now. This is a little dicey, guys. And so Na'Vi, instead, they get aggressive on the other side of the map. That catches Fnatic off guard. Fnatic, I mean, it's still Crims who just kind of steps in there and brings it back to a 4-on-4.
That battle that we just saw between Edward and Crims, I see way too often being lost to by the CT player. Oop. Nice shot from Dennis.
He has to realize this too. Yeah, goes for the re-peek and sees this there.
Well, now he does.
The guy pushing in alone, right? Dicey stuff, but
you know, when you walk out those long doors from the T side, your gun barrel is showing, that's one thing, but the shadow on the ground is showing as well. You think the CT player has all the advantage, and yet people get caught off by like the run speed of the player coming out, which just seems a bit silly. I feel like you should be able to time that better at a professional level. So I think that happens a little bit too often. Now they are going to be pushing with the A bomb site. There's only one person holding, but it's Guardian with the AWP, and this should be his area of expertise. And well, Olaf Meister, his feet doesn't even touch the ground, or at least not while he's alive.
Yeah, easy shot for Olaf, and now they realize that what they're dealing with here at Fnatic. Double op, Crims walks right into Sees, double scoped, looking for the catwalk push. He's going to get caught by Flesha. Flesha, not going to be able to best Guardian in mid, however, Guardian just too quick for him, and that's where we see the power of that double op. Thing is, now there's just no money to buy a second one here, so Na'Vi, they're in the pits. Fnatic have all the money to be able to go for whatever strategy they would like, whereas Na'Vi now, it's going to be just, rifles across the board apart from Guardian here. And Guardian isn't even going to have a whole lot to work with, considering he just dropped a gun for a teammate.
Yeah, it's going to be just a bit sketchy, and we saw like 10,000 on one of the Fnatic members there at the beginning, so they do have a lot of money. 14-10.
They were going to go for the rush into B, Fnatic. Flesha, he does the 180 as soon as he sees the smoke come up, but had there not been a smoke, Fnatic were just going to go straight up YOLO and go towards that B site, go crashing into the defense there.
I feel like this game is, if only Na'Vi had not been so slow to start, this could have been a very, very different game. It's not done yet, but you've got to think Fnatic could take, 2 out of the next 5 rounds.
I do like this hold from Na'Vi though. So like, okay, Fnatic, you've been poking around mid quite a bit here. So Zeus getting boosted up on the boxes, that is a little bit of a tricky spot. So Fnatic, once again, go through. They get that CT smoke down. Zeus is in the perfect spot to catch anybody pushing up B slope right now. Fnatic might fall for this trap. And there's still 2 players alive on that B side as well. So Na'Vi, they're looking pretty good right now as far as the setup is concerned. This should be Fnatic running into the blender. I wouldn't put it past, that nade coming out from that angle, does that tell JW anything? Or is that too much to read from?
It's hard to say right now, but he's in the middle. He doesn't get the shot there. Flamey going to be picking up one. Zeus with the second kill, and it's looking good right now for Na'Vi. Seized also picking up Flusher, so still a 2 versus 3. 1 in CT spawn, and that's JW. Zeus, he called the shadow, but he doesn't turn around in time. Now there's 20 seconds, and the bomb is going to go down, and it's going to be a full 2-on-2 here. Somehow Fnatic find a way through what is a really good B setup there.
Yeah, all you can think is not like this. Oh no. What? How does that shot not connect? Crims, he takes out Edward, and he's gonna get both kills in the end. But JW could have ended it right there and then. Quad kill for Crims though in the round. That brings him up to 20 kills in this map so far. But JW, how did he miss that shot? That looked like it was 100%.
Right between them. But I mean, if he had run out of the smoke while Zeus was still looking, it would have been over as well. So it's down to just some fairly ridiculous timing here.
And because, now it's just no money left for Na'Vi. So Fnatic, they've done it once again, at least, and we'll see. They are spread out a little bit here, dealing with this anti-eco situation. So that gives Na'Vi at least a little bit of an edge. And they continue to take fights versus these Deagles. I mean, Flamey's no slouch when it comes to the Deag. Him and Juan are good buddies.
Molotov going to be a bit too far, but now there's a scout behind there, seized. hoping to use the bait a bit, but he goes down, in fact. And yeah, I think Fnatic, they're on track to winning the first map here as Flamey goes down. It's going to be 5 versus 3. And I don't know. I think there was definitely a chance for NaVi to win this game, but not anymore.
No, not anytime soon, man. It's still looking like they struggle with that block versus Fnatic. They just aren't able to get their game going against these Swedes. And then it's just, little details. You're right. Just like in the last round with the smoke, it's these little things that keep going Fnatic's way. And then in the big rounds, Fnatic also just crush. NaVi, they tried. I mean, in the first half, we saw it where on their T side, whatever, they just had too much fear when they had the rifles. It was only when they actually had the pistols and started feeling like, okay, YOLO, like get in there, take the fight. Zeus gets quad kills with Tech 9s, right?
Yeah.
It's just because they have that difference actually allows NaVi to play their game. They need to figure out how to play their game versus Fnatic when they actually have rifles so they can start winning gun rounds. Then they'll start actually, having an impact on winning maps versus Fnatic. But until that happens, I think we're going to just keep seeing the Swedes dominate.
And I think a lot of respect as well to Fnatic for like the variation in the CT side setup early on. So hard for NaVi to know what was happening. I mean, for the first like 8 rounds, NaVi were just in the dark about what Fnatic were doing on that CT side. So that makes it tough.
That's how you roll when you have supreme confidence.
Yeah.
When you just know, all right, we're better than this team. Everything is going our way. You know what? We're just going to keep on pushing, going for really aggressive strategies that only work when you know that you're going to land your shots if it comes down to a firefight. And so, yeah, it's still just like Fnatic just running the show here so far.
Definitely. But I mean, oh man. I mean, 16-10. If they just win the pistol round on the first half, say, then we're looking at like potentially a sort of a reversal almost of that scoreline, and NaVi could actually be the ones. Because then you think about how many rounds Fnatic had low economy in the first half.
Yeah.
If they don't win the pistol, they might be ecoing another 2 or 3 times, and then I mean, I'm not saying that it's but it's closer than it seems at 16-10.
It's just
There's not a lot that has to change.
the only way that like if NaVi had won gun rounds, it wouldn't have been really possible for them to have such a strong like comeback in that, or at least to get those rounds on the board in the first half. The thing is they just kept winning like eco rounds, and then Fnatic were forced to like spend all of their money again re-upping, and that allowed NaVi to get back into the fight.
Take a page out of NaVi's book and just go YOLO a bit sometimes.
Well, isn't that what we're always talking about with NaVi, right? Where Zeus, Starks as well. Basically, it's like the players. They really like to go aggressive. They really like to go for the aggressive all-in kind of moves, the Guardian forcing with Deagles and all that sort of stuff. But we have an interview now prepared with OJ, with the winner, so we're going to go ahead and throw it over to him.
Thank you very much. I am down here in the basketball arena with the winners of that first match. Harder than you thought it was going to be?
Nah, they're a really good team, and you can never underestimate any team, because every top team is really good, and yeah, it's the best one.
When I was doing my opening coming into this, I said that you haven't lost a tournament since Dennis joined you, and that was back end of last year. Every tournament you've entered, you have won. How confident are you here? Because in everyone's eyes, you're the favourites.
We're always confident going into a tournament, but the group stages has always been hard for us, but we always succeeding coming back to the playoffs. But we're always confident, and we believe in ourselves, and I mean, we're the best team in the world, and we still think we are, so just go for it.
And that's what I want to pick up on as well, because the last time I saw you play was in Barcelona at the Invitational there, which, yes, it was a fun format, which I know you didn't totally like the format of how it worked. You guys were so confident, though. You were calling the fact you'd only lose one life. You were calling the fact that you were going to win this. Are we going to see that from you here? Are you going to be that brash?
Yeah, of course. Nah, but it's hard, because every team can beat anyone at this point, and it's a best of one group stage. So, but I still think we're gonna lose one match, but I don't know.
So you're saying you're only going to lose one match on the way through to taking this title?
Yeah.
I love this confidence. So with that, let's hand it back over to the desk. Matthew, they're only going to lose one match.
Well, they have lost matches in the previous tournaments that they have won, but usually it's early on. They start out of the gate pretty strong in this one, and you guys are predicting they'll lose either Katowice or the major. Maybe this is going to be the reverse tournament. Maybe they'll start out hot and end up losing late. But that game, pretty controlled early on. 8-1 lead. Have to give NaVi some credit. They did come back into it quite effectively. They tied it up at 9 after the pistol in the second half, and then things fell apart. Yeah, I mean that first half was just like the aggression out of Fnatic. It was what we talked about in the pregame, was NaVi taking it slow and Fnatic being able to exploit the extremities. And they started it out in the first gun round, which was really, really cool. They did that upper B push with 3 players, kind of forced Seized out, who was watching for that. Kept them smoked off, and that bought them so much time on the clock, for so much utility to be used, so much time spent retaking those B tunnels. But that pretty much set the tone for that entire half. Where you could see there were rounds where NaVi, just 2 rounds, I think, where they ran out of time on trying to even plant the bomb.
Even after the update.
Yeah, even after
still
the
not
extra
enough time
seconds.
for NaVi.
Why not? But Fnatic just set that tone where NaVi just realized they were going to have to be really aware of that early aggression, and it just controlled the pace of that game for at least 10, 11 rounds into that first half.
Well, we always talk about the T side setting that tone too, getting rushes in early, making the CTs forced to use their utility. But it's kind of rare we see it the other way around, where they just put NaVi in that mindset where they have to sit back, they have to wait so long. Talking again about that round where they did run out of time, I think if he'd hit the jump, he might have been close enough.
Yeah,
it was pretty close.
He didn't even have the bomb. It wasn't Flamey who had the bomb. Seized had the bomb.
Oh, I thought it was Flamey. My mistake. Okay.
Maybe, because Seized would have been able to jump earlier and so on. But in the end, it doesn't matter. Now, Fnatic had a 7-0 lead. At that point, they probably felt like, yeah, but this game is won pretty much. The first 2 rounds they lost were rounds where NaVi only had pistols as well, so they were just, being a bit undisciplined, to call it, in their play, right? Then lose second pistol, it's 9-9, but then you see the difference between Fnatic and NaVi, right? What Fnatic did in their first gun round, they push out quickly, they go for a quick mid to be split, right? What you mentioned, they force NaVi to react, they force them to waste their nades early, and then they can exploit that later on in the half. I was kind of disappointed by NaVi in the fact that they did not adjust compared to their last Dust2 game against Fnatic. They were constantly going for those slow defaults, and it did not work out to them until the very end, where Fnatic had to go eco a couple of times as well.
And just to go back to that, holding the B site, that's one topic that Anders brought up, of course, that's been frustrating him in the past, the way teams do struggle to adapt, struggle to change things and cover off that mid-possession. We saw Olaf doing an excellent job of it, but NaVi again struggling to shut it down early on.
I mean, they also have this setup where they leave Seized alone with the AWP towards B. They have one player boosted on the CT box, right, so that he is there to defend the mid if it comes to a mid to B split. But at that point, he misses the shot, he dies, and it's pretty much over for them, basically.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Yes, I'm just trying to tell Moses that I can hear his breathing. As much as I like to hear you breathing, it might not be the best for the stream.
He's always aroused when he's next to me, so
yeah.
It's
not much you can do about that.
Fnatic
He's out of breath. He's out of breath already, guys. We're just getting started and Moses can't handle it. But let's get back into the aspect of that quick push. We did see, again, some more aggressive play from Fnatic on the catwalk. Is this going to start to be the shift in the meta? Is this where teams start to go back the other way? Because it is a circulation, let's keep in mind. One team does something, the counter shows up, and then the counter goes back, and eventually it does come back around. Is this start of the full circle where teams are going to get more aggressive again?
I think they're going to keep doing the same thing until someone forces them to change things up, right? Because they're so confident. Like Crims said, I love Crims. I wish Crims does every interview I wish every team had a Crims in an interview, because he's so honest. He's like, yeah, we're going to win. Why would we lose? No one did. We won all the tournaments. Why wouldn't we be the most confident team and so on? And he's spot on, right? Looking at NaVi in this game, Zeus was actually the best performing player there. He was the one he got a 4K in that Tech 9 round as well. He was the one who initially was the key player in the rounds NaVi won, and Guardian was okay-ish, but there wasn't someone to step up really against Fnatic.
Yeah, there was so much confidence the round as well. Olaf jumps off Cat, goes down into CT with an AWP. No one's there, walks up, just kills Guardian along. Like, all right, cool. Thanks for all of that map control. Like it. He's not scared of anything. The point, though, just to go back that I was going to talk about is you get Astralis, who kind of defined the meta of that passive AW play, and now you've got Fnatic playing aggressive Cat. It's interesting to see if more teams will shift back to that aggressive style instead. Final thoughts on the match from you guys. Anyone who didn't really show up and needs to be performing, because remember, round robin, every team's going to play everyone. So Navi going down to Fnatic, if someone else can upset Fnatic, it might even it out. But Navi's got to now make sure they win their next couple games, and they're going up against Luminosity in a second.
I feel that they just lost as a team. They had the wrong approach to the game. It wasn't anyone's fault individually, so to speak. I just think they got beaten, probably even more than the score itself shows.
Yeah, I mean, that's just Fnatic. They controlled every aspect of the game, and that's what they like to do, and that's kind of what we say. You can't react to Fnatic. You have to stop it while it's happening, and that's why they're so difficult to beat. I mean, even though Navi made that comeback and tied it up 9-9 after pistol round second half, to go down 8-1 or 9-1, whatever it might have been in the first, that's just too much of a lead to give Fnatic. They're going to be able to add more rounds to that, so a little bit of a tough thing.
Also, Mongol's gonna beat Mouse.
Well,
Mouse just wrecked NIP,
I was going to
bro.
say that was on the B stream. We didn't see that on our particular stream, but anyone who did tune in, the
So
new
proud.
Yeah, the new NIP did not start off the way many were hoping that they would. It was 16-8 for Mouse Sports on Mirage, if I'm not mistaken. So pretty impressive stuff for them, from particularly Mouse Sports, who's played in a few more lanes this year than NIP, but still no excuses. You've had that much time to prepare. You got to come in hot and ready. That said, we are going to go to a break. I've noticed you guys got the Acer Predator laptops on the table, but for everyone at home, now we talked about some of the storylines at the start of the pre-show. For anyone at home who wants to keep up with the stats, you can do so on the Score Esports. They've got 5 storylines you should also watch that we didn't necessarily go into detail on, so check that out. We'll be back in just a bit for our second game. It's going to be NaVi versus Luminosity.
Better as
the hand
well.
wraps, obviously. they're holding the Bjergsen pick for 5th as expected here. They have pretty tough matchups though in the top lane. Fiora versus Nautilus early. Nautilus can push that in a lot early game. Graves is locked into the jungle obviously with that Nautilus pickup. And then in the bottom lane, whatever they pick here will likely have the push advantage. So we have 2 pushing lanes already. So Bjergsen will definitely need to pick a strong pick against whatever Tempt plays here in the mid lane.
Yeah, and with the Twisted Fate already covered, this is what I was really afraid of, because I think that this really plays into Ever's play style where they want to use those teleports, they want to constantly fight you, they're going to have that winning Lucian matchup. Graves can really apply the pressure in the jungle alongside a Twisted Fate. So I think Ever's really getting everything they want in terms of their typical play style that we've seen.
Bjerg might go back to Syndra here, actually, because LeBlanc spanned out. That's kind of an aggressive move into the TF. You can play Kassadin, but then you lose the push pressure. You're now being pushed into 3 lanes, so definitely don't want to do that. You could go safe lane for Victor. Don't really like that too much. Maybe like a Zillion would actually be nice here. That's something I would like to see.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Zillion unless you can couple him with a lot of strong diving champions, and obviously Alistar doesn't need the Chrono Shift in order to dive efficiently, so I usually like to see him with Poppy or something that can really go all in. That's been, I think, the best across the world when we've seen the Zillion Poppy combination. So Fiora here, they're looking to split push. This is not something that's been very terribly effective from TSM. I think they have to pick some form of wave clear. Will be actually the Lissandra coming in.
I think it's meeting in the middle. So it's some defensive wave clear if you combine it with somebody else in that lane, and at least you have aggro. Like Lissandra at least can completely destroy TF in the mid lane, and that seems to be the goal. As long as this Hanser can survive now in the top lane on that Fiora and not lose 2v1 against Graves Nautilus, it's rough. Or TSM just combine it with maybe hide him in the lanes while somebody else.
I think this is interesting too because Tempt always likes to play with the teleport on the Twisted Fate. So I think a lot of mid laners in this circumstance would actually switch over to cleanse, but we're not seeing that so far. Against Lissandra at least, most Twisted Fates would switch to cleanse in this particular instance, but he's just going hard for it, and they just want to get out of lane and fight elsewhere outside and away from Bjergsen.
TSM has the lane swap though, I think.
Yes.
Bar Lucian with Ignite, Nautilus top with the push pressure, and Graves that can just come in the lane and bully Fiora. I think if they don't lane swap, they will have an incredibly rough early game.
Lane swap. Let's see if they actually get their hands on it. The team comps are locked in. Gentlemen, I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you to predict the winner. Crepo, who will take this one? ESC Ever or Team Solo Mid now that you've seen the draft?
I don't know, man. I like Ever's draft a little more, but I think TSM is still going to take it.
Yeah, exactly. I really like Ever's draft, actually. But I am going to go with TSM just because they're the Western team.
I think that, wow. I think that ESC Ever has a really good shot here to win. They're on comfort picks. We did see Tempt actually switch over to that cleanse, which I think is actually a wise move. And we're going to get into this game, but I favor, it's a coin flip, I'd say 50-50. I'm going to take ESC Ever, so I'll call it 51% 49 because I really don't know.
Oh, you're playing it so safe. Ladies and gentlemen, the teams are locked in. We're going to head over to meet our casters for Game 1 of the World Championships.
Hey guys, welcome to game number 1 of League of Legends here at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. I'm Doa. That's Monte Cristo or Deficio. I'm not sure anymore. I don't know. My whole worldview has been shattered at this point. But that doesn't change the fact that we're about to go into Ever versus TSM. I'm excited, man, because this one, it's going to be a bit messy, I think.
Yeah, a lot of team fighting probably coming. Just if we look at how these teams like to play. Obviously, Ever is not the team who's making a lot of moves in the early game, but the same can be said for Team Solo Mid. They're very passive often, but then we get these big late game fights. Obviously, quite a lot of split pushing coming in this match. We have Fiora picked, Twisted Fate, of course, for Tempt in the mid lane. So you might see a lot of small fights in side lanes, and then get this one big fight later on around the Baron.
Yeah, and one of the fun things to watch with ESC Ever is that these guys just go so ham in the late game. They're like, all right, this is the point in the game where we fight, and then we are going to fight for the rest of the game. And, you know, if we win, great, we'll win through fighting. If we don't, we'll lose because we lost a fight.
And this is just pure comfort picks.
Yeah.
Forever. With everything they've locked in here, Twisted Fate in the mid lane, because as you just said here, they like to fight and they like to use globals a lot. So like you put Crazy to just start split pushing on top lane. If you try and gank him, the other 4 members will just force a team fight elsewhere on the map. And they have so many options with TP top laner, obviously the Twisted Fate, but I do think the Lissandra pick kind of saved everything for Team Solo Mid.
Well, we will see, and welcome to Summoner's Rift, guys, for our first game here at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships, ESC Ever versus Team Solo Mid. And we will see who comes out on top. Should be interesting. I mean, this is a huge match for both of these teams. I mean, Ever's come all the way from Korea. They're still a challenger team. TSM, you know, struggling a little bit in NA, but if they lose the first game of this tournament to a second-place challenger team from Korea, that's going to be a tough one to stomach.
And that's kind of the problem, I feel, for Team Solo Mid. The pressure's on them and also on Crazy.
Wow, speaking of pressure, has to flash, gets exhausted trying to get away from this one. There's a knockup, and first blood goes over to TSM already. Double if picking that one up, and I guess you can't really ask for a better start than that, can you?
No, a little bit of odd movement for Crazy. Normally, if you move up on top side, actually I see mid. More fighting in the jungle, level 1.
I said it was going to be messy. I told you this was going to happen, man.
Good start. Bart gets a little bit extra gold, but Crazy walking into the river. Normally, you would always see the enemy move in towards you, and you can like back away in time. Worst case, just instant flash over the wall.
Yeah.
Clearly, he felt like he could just walk away. Gives up. But a very easy first blood. And on to Double Lift. So this is important for Team Solo Mid because Double Lift and Yellow Star, the 2v2 lane, it's not been looking great. They need every bit of help they can get.
Well, first blood on your AD carry, man. I mean, that is certainly going to help. We'll see if he actually goes back and picks up anything pretty early, but he doesn't really need to, you know? They can kind of wait this out.
Yeah, so they had the wards, TSM, but Ever was waiting in mid lane with Key and Loken, if you guys noticed. And Key now is in trouble.
Key knocked up with that pulverize, taking a lot of damage too. Sven scaring him. Double lift, still there. Key has to flash, barely makes it out. Loken had to pop that summoner heal. And
What's
Ever,
going on?
man, well, I don't know. They're a second place challenger team.
Challenger strategies from Ever here?
They're good. They won Cologne. They've proven they can be good, but it's still really different. I mean, if you look at this team too, Tempt, their newish mid laner, this is the first time he's ever been out of Korea, and he didn't even live in Seoul. This kid lives out in the country. He'd only been to Seoul like twice in his life, so huge change for him to be kind of dealing with the stage, dealing with this situation, and I wouldn't be surprised to see if we see some nerves come into it a bit.
I agree with you. I think definitely around the mid lane, also because Bjergsen is a very strong mid laner. He will look to pressure you against Tempt on the Twisted Fate, but just to go back again to that level 1, TSM invaded, they put down the vision to see is there gonna be a lane swap. Ever decided to say we want the 2v2 lane, so we wait in mid lane with Loken and Key, sneak in, but then get very greedy trying to stop that Grump.
Yep. Uh-oh. It's pause time, Deficio.
So we have more time to talk.
That's right.
The players are doing it for us.
What would you like to talk about?
Oh, I would like to talk
You were making a point that sounded fascinating.
True, yeah. I mean, the point was kind of over because then they walked into the Grump and said, hi guys, let's 2v2 the junglers here.
Yeah.
And Bart has no flash now. He can't play as aggressive.
Yeah, and I mean, that bot lane of Lucian Bard is super strong anyway. It seemed a little bit risky when we saw in pick and ban TSM giving that one over, but you know, I suppose if you get a couple kills, couple summoners out of the way early, that kind of solves that problem, doesn't it?
Kind of throws the pick and ban phase out of the window.
Yeah.
If you just give up so many early things. But again, the pick and ban phase, I liked it from Ever. I don't 100% agree on first picking Graves. I don't think you have to. Western teams don't pick him very early. It's more like Nidalee, Kindred, Elise, these kind of picks.
It's an odd priority for Korea as well. We don't see really a lot of Graves first picks right now. It's a lot of Kalista, a lot of Alistar.
Now, he's obviously a very safe pick in a lot of ways. He fits in a lot of different compositions. He doesn't really have any straight hard counters in the jungle. Still surprising, I would actually love to see just the Fiora first pick, because Hansa is a good Fiora player, and I feel like when you play against Ever, if you can beat Crazy in the split push, you ruin a lot of what they like to do. Because again, it's this 4-1 setup, a Crazy split pushing, and then you have the 4-man in the mid lane, and then you TP straight onto him. So I would like to see Ever just first pick that Fiora, because now TSM has a good advantage, because Hansa will win that 1v1. So that is a possibility for Team Solo Mid to just punish the split push, force Ever to only 5-on-5 at all times, and that changes the way they like to play.
Oh, looks like we're back in the game again. Key getting a little bit low, so's Double Lift. Arcane shifting away. Yeah, some pretty hugely aggressive trading from this duo, but again, we were expecting it to be pretty aggressive.
And we need to see more now from Double Lift and Yellow Star. They played this Ezreal Alistar combo against Team Liquid and got destroyed because they completely disrespected level 2 all-ins. Obviously, that's not going to be the case now. Early experience from the kill. You're now pushing the lane, so Safer, they're actually just looking to farm. They don't really necessarily want to kill anyone. It's more about what can Hansa do on the bottom side against this Nautilus.
Right, I mean, this Ezreal's going to take some time to power up anyways.
He's going to get a tier now, and then he's just going to sit and farm.
Yeah, pretty much. Going to go back. We'll see what they decide to pick up early, that tier, of course. And now Crazy versus Hanser. I mean, they've got the solo lanes here. Here comes Ares. And there's a nice grab onto Hanser. Hanser has his flash if he needs to use it, and decides he's going to be just fine. He is. No summoners used, so a nice gank attempt. Might force him out of lane for the moment anyway.
Yeah, should force a teleport from him.
Little TP edge for Ever for the next few minutes anyway.
But also with this early start, I feel like Team Solo Mid got almost everything they wanted, because in my mind, standard lanes are actually the best for them. In this case, as long as Double Lift and Yellow Star can survive 2v2, because it puts Bjergsen in the 1v1 mid lane where he can at level 6 gank Tempt with the Elise and win the 2v2 very easily. Oh, he's in trouble.
Yeah, huge trouble, man. He doesn't have his flash yet. There's no way he's getting out of this one. And that's another kill over to TSM. Yellow Star picking up that.
And this is just what I started mentioning. You know, this 2v2 in mid lane from Svensson and Bjergsen, it's what has been lacking, honestly, for this team in North America. They've been picking like Orianna and just farming mid lane, and Svensson could never invade and never play aggressive. And then you don't utilize him as a jungler. If you just tell him, oh, just place wards and be a team fighter. He's not very good at that.
Well, it seemed like when you watched TSM recently, like trust was a major issue too. Nobody seemed to be on the same page as far as shot calling goes. Everyone seemed kind of scattered and sort of like making their own decisions. And now we're seeing this really great synergy between the support and jungle, and it's really taking apart ever so far.
And again, that's what I like about having the standard lanes for Team Solo Mid. And on top of that, instead of them struggling in the lane, they got that first blood. So they've been basically getting everything, because even in a lane swap, it would have been fine. You dodged the 2v2 lane. Hansa just wouldn't be able to get this one-on-one, and he could farm equally or even pressure Nautilus. And also Svensson wouldn't be able to gank. So you would kind of nullify Elise's impact early on, together with a Fiora and Lissandra. Two good lanes for you to gank, because two very strong laners early on. So I really like TSM having the standard lanes, having that early first blood, and we have already seen the impact from Svensson. He just needs to play around bottom side now.
Yeah.
Because you do not want to let Fiora get ganked and fall behind. You want her to snowball, and you have that split pushing threat that shuts down whatever likes to do normally.
Well, it makes it just all the more important that Hanser didn't need to use his flash when that gank came in from Ever a little bit earlier. It's interesting to see Ares taking this Graves out too, as we see him stealing the Wolves over on TSM's side of the jungle, because like the analyst has talked about, this is a guy that plays a lot more kind of tanky junglers, the Rek'Sai, the slower moving CC sort of junglers rather than the carry jungler like Graves.
Obviously a different style for him. He likes to invade a lot, which you can do on a Rek'Sai because she's very safe. You can always tunnel out if needed.
Right.
So, but he likes to invade. He likes to put down early vision more than ganking straight up. Potential dive on bottom side. TSM has spotted already. Bjergsen.
Yeah, they've got good vision. Here comes Twisted Faith. They're going to try to make a play onto Hanser. Tempt, trying to get there with his gold card, loads it up.
Oh, wow.
Okay, there we go. There's the gold card. Air's in a little bit of trouble. Tries to dodge into the bush to avoid some damage. Can't avoid enough. Another kill for TSM. Tempt is going to go down as well. And TSM is just destroying ESC Ever at this point.
It's just too predictable. Tracy's going to go down as well.
Yeah, a couple flashes used, and that Nautilus is going to have a hard time making it out. He's tanky, but he's not that tanky. There it goes. 5 kills to 0 already for TSM.
Ever just not respecting how predictable the play they're making is. Because, like, you can see on your minimap, Bjergsen has already moved down. Svensson is running from base. They knew everything that was going to happen here. I like how Hansa goes aggressive, doesn't get caught on the tower at first and just locked down. He actually jumps onto Ever and then starts kiting backwards.
Yeah.
And then just waiting. Here's his team joining in. Obviously now you are going to be extremely weak at this point. Ares as well, completely missing his damage on this Graves.
It was pretty messy. And Ever really has a lot of work to do if they're going to be able to pull this one back. It's already pretty out of control. I mean, 2K gold deficit or 3K gold deficit already for Ever at just 8 minutes into the game. Man.
And this Lissandra pick is going to have so much impact. I really felt like it saved the draft for TSM as the last pick, because it forces the cleanse from Twisted Fate, so that removes the global, obviously. Second, you can play aggressive with it together with a jungler like Elise. And obviously Bjergsen is a good split pusher on a pick like Lissandra, so he can actually match whatever side lane pressure Ever will ever have and just follow. Because we just saw what happened. Now we have early kills on every single member.
I mean, we know how important the first couple ganks that a Twisted Fate tries are for just getting that TF ahead. It's a character that can fall off pretty quickly. I mean, if he loses mid lane turret at some point, and yeah, he has no damage right now.
He's building Rod of Ages as his first item, despite falling behind.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
again,
going to be a late Rod now. And
Ever is not looking to go late game against this lineup from Team Solo Mid. Fiora will completely outscale the Nautilus. Ezreal has a great late game. Alistar is a great frontline support. I feel like you wanted more impact in the early game. You could even rush a Lich Bane, if that is, and just try and play a lot more aggressive around this Bard Lucian lane.
Well, yeah, you think that if they want to do something aggressive to catch up, to make up for losing that early, kill or two, you wouldn't try going for Rod of Ages, would you?
No, I'm not a fan of it. It's too slow, in my opinion. Also, it leaves you too weak. When the other mid laner can follow you, you need early game impact, not a catalyst and scaling up. And there's also a big difference in how you build your Rod of Ages. because you actually want to start blasting Wand first.
Right.
Just to get some early power, and then you go Catalyst after. Just building Catalyst kind of surrenders everything you want to do as an aggressive player, and you just kind of play sustain in lane.
And see, now he just picked up the blasting wand too, so not even finishing that Catalyst, just going to sit there with a couple crystals in his inventory.
Looking rough forever, definitely. Forever,
Wow.
forever. It's
Forever,
looking
ever?
rough.
Forever, ever?
Forever, ever. It's looking rough.
I mean, this game is going to be hard to come back from, obviously. It's a huge deficit early on, and TP coming in from TSM. They're going to try to find Key and Loken, it looks like. And yeah, this could be bad. Yellowstar goes in. Temp tries to join the fight, but already Ever losing nearly everybody. They finally get the kill down onto Yellowstar, but another easy win under turret there for TSM.
Yeah, just TP advantage for Team Solo Mid because Crazy had to use his back to lane before. That means Hansa can set up a play with the rest of the team roaming. Ares is in trouble as well.
He knew TSM was close by. I don't know why he was walking through there, man.
It's like, I need to do Grump.
Yeah.
They just 5-man dive my top lane.
It's not a good time to do Grump.
Let's do Grump, boys. You know, we need that Grump right now. Crazy will get a bot lane tower, but that's about it forever.
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 Yeah, forever, ever.
Gotta remember to pause in between. Forever.
For them. Just say for them. And people assume we're saying ever from now on. We'll just make it work. That turret not even dying yet to Crazy. Let's watch a replay of this. I mean, there was just nothing that ESC could do, and Tempt is like, I want to die too.
Yeah, trying again to assist the team. Yellowstar is not level 6, that's why he goes down, actually gets it just when he dies in the very end. But it all starts with the mid lane. Lissandra can push in the Twisted Fate, who was sitting on those, Mana Crystal, Ruby Crystal, and...
Why?
I mean, maybe the Grump said something about him, I'm not sure.
Maybe. That Grump insulted Graves' mother, man.
I mean, such an odd play from Ares here. Just top lane is dying, better do Grump.
That's right. It's like, well, I can't help them, but I can help myself by killing this Grump. Great idea. Well, I mean, I feel like every time there's a pause, we're like, well, they're more behind than they were a few minutes ago now, aren't they? I mean, it's
it
up
just
to
snowballs.
about 4K. Yeah, it really is. I mean, to be fair, TSM's doing a very good job of snowballing this game quickly, too.
I mean, it's been about Team Solomid predicting, okay, Ever is going to go for this gank in bottom lane because they've been playing around bottom side.
Yeah.
Bjergsen moves down because, again, he's pushing out. He's like, I cannot stress this enough. Pushing mid lane first constantly allows Bjergsen to roam. He's doing exactly the same thing again. Crazy's now in trouble.
Yeah, there's a flash from Crazy trying to get away since Skaren is right there, though. Can't make it out to that turret. Makes it to the wall. Haunts are there, too. They can dive this easily. Yeah, another kill for TSM. Another one on to Sven Skaren. Ever taking a chunk out of the mid lane turret, but that's not a lot. In fact, they may get cut off by Yellowstar and Doublelift coming in here. No, they'll be able to get away. All right, Key was there, I suppose.
Just applying a bit of pressure, forcing them off the tower. Hansa will be able to take the bot lane. So once again, Team Solomid is getting almost everything on the map. And this is what happens, you know, if teams execute properly, when you're this far behind at 12 minutes, you're not supposed to win the game.
Yeah.
Like, you are supposed to continue to just fall further and further behind because there's no map pressure for you. Your members are too weak to fight. Often you have to use your flashes defensively instead of offensively, and then you become reactive instead of proactive. And more and more of the map is just gone. Hansa with Sven will be able to take a very easy bot tower as well.
You can't really be a reactive team with a Twisted Fate either, can you? That's a very much kind of take charge sort of champion.
Especially also when you're against double teleport yourself.
Yeah.
You know, if you're reacting to a gank, well, the other mid lane is going to follow, and then you're weaker. So, great start for Team Solomid.
Yeah, and I mean, it's such a big statement, too, because coming into this, a lot of people were saying it's kind of 50-50. Ever's been looking pretty good in Korea. They won IEM Cologne, you know, while at the same time in North America, TSM seems to be really struggling with this roster that looks great on paper, but just hasn't been able to, you know, make it work as well as people expected. But so far in this game, there's no question about who the better looking team is right now.
And it all started level 1. Crazy dying, then Key invading in, getting caught as well, using his summoners, trying to escape, and then TSM had these standard lanes where they had an advantage in what was supposed to be the losing lane because of that first blood. And then everything can just slowly but surely fall apart forever. At this point, you are looking at Team Solomid overextending, potentially, for Ever to go in and respond, but you gotta get rid of this teleport from Bjergsen, otherwise Tempt will never join alone. He will always have Bjergsen following him to every single lane he's going to.
Yeah, I don't know if ESC ever is the type of team, too, to play patient enough to take
Normally
advantage
not.
of a team that is, overextending as well. Again, these guys are a team that likes to just get in there and fight constantly, and so they're not going to really be patient, Probably not.
Probably not, at least not the playstyle we have seen from EVER. Also, what they showed at IEM Cologne, where they did obviously win and qualify back in the off-season.
Yep. That was a weird time for League of Legends, wasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of the teams came in with like 2 days of practice, and then EVER came in after doing so well in the Kesper Cup and obviously being ready.
Brand
Lost the
new
mid laner.
rosters, yeah.
Athena is gone. He's with EDG now.
Yep, that's right. Went over to China. And when they picked up Temp for the mid lane, as we see TSM take this first drag, and I was talking to Ever's owner, and they said this is a kid that just, again, lived out in the country, didn't play with anyone, just only played on solo queue, made it to Challenger in Korea by himself with, like, no outside influence, and they're like, now that's someone with real individual talent. Yellowstar getting a little bit slowed up, but he's going to be able to make it out just fine. And so they brought him in. It's been working well, but ton of pressure on this kid right now as TSM dives into the mid lane. Temp gonna go ahead and get stopped for a moment by that Bard out. Bjergsen trapped between Loken and Key right now. Bjergsen getting low. Loken picks up a kill, and Ever actually forcing TSM back a bit. They lost their turret though.
Gets the turret because, again, Team Solo Mid are so far ahead, but forgetting what they need to do.
It was a bit disjointed, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you do not need to dive mid lane at all with this composition. You just want to split push with the Fiora over and over. Twisted Fate has no impact because Lissandra can follow. Play that style, push 2 lanes at once, use the strong Fiora to bully the Nautilus, and then you can always rotate to the lane and take tower. Diving between 2 towers is where Ever will have a slight chance to come back. Obviously, they get mid tower, so it's still technically a win for Team Solo Mid. But we can see this actually gives Ever a chance to take a proper team fight.
It's a good tempered fate by Key as well.
Slows up everything, and then Bjergsen goes very deep.
Yeah.
Rest of TSM is like finishing the tower, can't really follow through. So just a little bit too aggressive also from Bjergsen with his engaging, thinking he could one-shot Loken.
And we talked about ESC Ever struggling maybe if we go into later stages of the game, but if you give that Lucian items, if you give this guy kills and gold, Lucian's going to get extremely strong. And if you pair that with a Graves, if Nautilus gets tanky, it's going to be tough, but you do have to be a little bit worried if you're TSM,
A little bit. For now,
you can't let that happen again.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do this like over and over and over.
Yeah.
They still have double TP. They're back in the side lanes. You can see the 1-3-1 on your minimap with Hansa in the top lane, Bjergsen in the bottom lane, and this is where Ever won't have much of a response. Because if you put the Twisted Fate in the side lane, he's a super easy gank for an Elise, first of all. But also, both these soul laners can kill him, just on their own. So it's super difficult for Temp to find a place. And also remember the Twisted Fate ulti. The range obviously is a bit of an issue compared to a teleport.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't have that complete global range that the Summoner spell has.
And I like this now from both Svensson and Yellowstar. This is what we need to see. Push those 2 lanes, we just talked about it. Set up your deep vision, and then let Hansa be the bully. Push in this lane, and then you can just rotate from mid to top and poke away in the tower a little bit. Poke every single time, just chip it away. As long as you keep the deep vision. He really wants these jungle camps. Ares is still
He
with
really
the whole
does,
thing.
man. I mean, we saw his commitment to jungle camps with that Gromp attempt, yeah. Loken's going to try to cull TSM away there for the moment. But now, I mean, TSM can just, they've already set up vision around Baron.
Yeah,
They've got pretty much complete control of the map right now.
As soon as they see Loken on bottom side here, they can force a play. Now you can actually dive a tower because the AD carry is stuck there.
Yeah.
For now, though, the team is playing in a little bit safe. Maybe after that play before, they were kind of like, okay, calm down, everyone. Yes, we're far ahead. So, now you can make a play on mid tower because Loken has to run from the bottom lane, and he has obviously nothing he can do at this point.
Yep, trying to get up there. But that turret's already pretty much dead.
Bjergsen goes back bot lane now. Push out that lane as well. If you want to play it super safe, that is. Always push out all 3 lanes. They are grouping mid though, so once again, you are giving Ever a slight chance of a team fight. But you are so far ahead that you should be able to win these fights no matter what. But I want to see Bjergsen just go back bot lane, push it out.
You got your wish.
Thank you, Bjergsen.
He doesn't get the Krugs, though.
And he doesn't get the pink ward either.
He doesn't kill the pink ward.
Doesn't care, man.
Yeah. I mean, what's Ever going to do? They can't really come after him as a team. They're going to lose their mid lane turret if they do that.
Tell his mom maybe. He's been a naughty boy. That's been about it for Ever right now. And we're back with the Gromp.
Yeah. Well, he's going to get it this time. He's not going to die to that Gromp or to anyone near the Gromp. There we go.
Now he's happy.
That's right. Redemption for Ares. He finally got the Gromp. What a guy. And meanwhile, Double F, I mean, just pushing in mid lane, it's pretty standard stuff. TSM, I mean, it's smart, like you said, to just back off, play a little bit safely. You've got a huge lead. No need to stretch things any farther than necessary.
And this is the point where being an AD carry is super fun. Because your job is to sit mid lane. When the enemy minions show up, you shoot them in the face.
Yeah.
And then you run away if you see anyone.
Wow.
All you have to do is just push away.
That's fun to you, huh?
I mean, I used to get carried quite a lot, so that was my kind of role. Just pushing the lanes with my AD carry and then wait for the side lanes to win.
I see. Just killing minions. I was too busy traveling around the map, making plays, getting kills, making my AD carry leave the game because I was taking his kills. I'm like, that's okay, we didn't need that Vayne anyway.
And now you're stuck on the caster desk instead of playing this game.
That's
right.
right.
Could have been you.
I wanted to give someone else a chance, that's why.
Such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Let's see if TSM will give Ever a chance. But now they are, once again, I don't know, you don't need to group 4 men together, push 3 lanes.
There's the ult on Double Lift, but guess what? He's Ezreal. Tempered Fate slows him down a little bit. Temp there, he's like, I got a gold card. Okay, they get the gold card onto Double Lift. Double Lift goes down, a kill comes in for Key, getting bloodthirsty there. Yellowstar low himself, Ever kind of split up. Key has decided a magical journey behind the team. They're going to take down Yellowstar to the bot lane, destroyed by ESC Ever and TSM. What happened there?
Well, I feel like we just talk about it again and again and again. Whenever Team Solo Mid says, let's not split push, but like try and group together on these towers, you give Ever a chance to come back in this game. And they've just done it again.
It's still a 6K gold lead for TSM. They're still massively ahead, but
they are.
You can't do that kind of thing too many times, you know?
You just can't give up. Like, you shouldn't be giving up kills here.
Yeah, probably shouldn't be.
Double TP, play your side lanes. They keep moving Hanzo with the team. For some reason, let him get to that tower. He destroys the towers. So we're like, look here. Why is Hanzo running with Yellowstone Double Lift in the bottom lane? This doesn't make sense and allows Ever to set up a team fight. Yes, they lose 1 member down here in the bottom of your screen, but they still pick up 2 kills and they slow down the game, which is all they're looking for, because as long as the game is slowed down and they have more chances of fighting, there's more chances of comebacks, despite them still being so far behind.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Ever wants, is they just want as many fights as they can, so either they can come back or they just lose faster, and then they can move on with their lives.
Right. And look at the next game, Origin versus RNG, because obviously the loser of this game will face the loser of that match in a BO3 later today.
Well, TSM has been able to maintain dragon control, at least. That's their second dragon, and since we are on 6.3 in this tournament, that dragon did have those buff changes, and so it's a big deal. Second dragon means a lot more than it used to.
Yeah, I really like the second dragon buff for split pushes now, because you often just get a few hits on tower, then you have to back away, get that debuff on the tower. I want to see them use these pings though, place them around the Baron, so you have another threat. Enemy jungle and then the river near the Baron, so you can see the 2 wards from Ever, you want to clear them out. So in case Ever is sitting too far back, you can always rush that Baron. Gives you just another win opportunity, basically. You are Team Solo Mid, but again, they've been playing greedy, like being so far ahead and then still giving up kills.
Do you feel like Tempt should have maybe gone for a Zonius at this point with the amount of aggression they're going to need to do to get back in this game? Do you think it's really smart to go for Abyssal Scepter second?
I mean, he's doing it because he's been standing toe-to-toe with Bjergsen for quite some time, but I do agree with you. Zonius is super important.
Ares gets grabbed, a lot of trouble, gets ulted, and there's an easy kill and an easy turret for TSM. Tempt caught completely now, has that gold card loaded up, able to flash away. Yellowstar taking some damage, but Ever overall on the defensive. Close call there for Tempt, but he got out, and now TSM just rotating up to top lane.
This time around, Team Solo Mid gets a kill, gets tower. Top tower is also open. So there's so many choices you can make technically when you're this far ahead.
Right.
And there shouldn't be a whole lot. Crazy's going in.
Since Garen was a bit low, Crazy is being crazy, gets taken down there. Hanser low, another kill for Ever. They trade 1 for 1. TSM pushed away from the turret for the moment. Bjergsen gets caught a little bit by that Cosmic Binding. Temp needs to be careful, man. He's so low. Look at this. Bjergsen just shredded, though. And somehow, some way, Ever has managed to push TSM away from this top lane turret. This is a little bit too much poke, it seems like.
2 top laners going down. Loken, he's looking for more, not able to find it, but it actually forces Team Solo Mid back in base. So you kind of reset the map one more time. It gives you a chance to ward up the Baron now.
Whoa, Bjergsen getting really low, and they get him. Key
gets
manages to finish him off in the end, and whoa, that was a good catch for Ever. And it's stuff like this. I I don't know, man. We knew it was going to be messy. I didn't think it'd be messy quite in this way.
I definitely expected Team Solo Mid to be able to play this a lot cleaner after such a great start. Here, top laners goes down, and then it's super difficult. TSM, they want to stay and keep poking, but they can't really dive the turret. It actually gives a lot of chances for escape now. For escape forever to deal some damage. Logan not getting double lift.
I mean, and I really got to say, Key is making so many, well, can I say key plays in this game? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I had to do that.
It's probably his ward as well. What a key ward from him.
Yeah, exactly. Takes a magical journey and sends Bjergsen on a journey to the afterlife. Man.
It is surprising, though, a team that's been so far behind has had wards in the enemy jungle. So, like, that's why Bjergsen never expected it to be a ward in the first place. He just recalls.
I mean, yeah, you can't really blame him for recalling in that bush too much, but Ever was ready. They are ever ready.
And let's see now, we get your Hourglass. It is delayed, but also attempt. Hourglass is such an expensive item now, so getting it as a second item when you're behind, it leaves you also super weak. I think he wanted more immediate impact after having to go Rod of Ages first. Now he's going to get the Hourglass, so it's good for him for his team fights.
Yeah, really good, actually. I mean, it gives Ever a lot more options as far as getting that Twisted Fate into the back lines and zone using to let the team catch up. I mean, Key's Tempered Fates have been great. It's another way to split up the team fight a bit.
I would have liked to see Logan go for a third item QSS instead of the BF sword. Against Lissandra, also against Fiora ulti, you can QSS that one. It's going to be such a key pick, otherwise Bjergsen can't probably one shot. He gets caught.
Gets grabbed, takes a culling, pops at Zhonya's. Svenskeren coming in, Tempered Fate locks him up. And how are they going to go after this now? Bjergsen really low. They use that Graves ultimate for the damage. Yellowstar pushing away. Nice ult by Bjergsen, comes in, ults himself, pushes Ares away. He's low. But meanwhile, Bjergsen can't quite take the heat. He gets melted literally because he's Lissandra, get it? And they get Yellowstar too. Ever
have you seen this
winning
before?
Fight after fight.
I mean, Team Solo Mid, you tried this 4 times now. Every time you tried it, the best outcome possible you ever had was getting 1 kill and a tower. Dude. Every other time you've been losing kills. Why is this team constantly just saying, let's just keep going 5? We have great side lane control. Nah, let's run 5-man. And once again, this is what Ever's comp can do. It can team fight. Big Nautilus, Key with some fantastic ultis on the
Why does he go in here?
They panic. It's a panic call almost from TSM saying, hey, they're engaging on us. Let's re-engage. I can get a 5-man ulti as Lissandra, and they jump in. But you're under tower.
Yeah. You're under tower, and Ever has a lot of health left over on their team. Ares was low, but that was really about it. And, I mean, you look at the timing with the hook from Crazy, too. He just timed that perfectly after Bjergsen came out of his ultimate. And with the health total, there was just no way he was getting out. And so now, Ever is looking at a situation where the gold lead is actually shrinking for TSM.
Yes.
They brought it down to 5K, and now, you know, I feel like as you get closer and closer to 50,000 gold for each team, the gold leads start to matter less and less.
Of course, and this late game scaling Team Solo Mid had with Ezreal, with the Fiora, it is still fantastic scaling.
Oh, yeah.
But the main part of Fiora is in her 1v1. She can beat anyone in the late game. So if you keep putting her into a team fight, her impact, her value is of course a lot lower, because the Nautilus is a fantastic team fight, a big frontline tank, hard for an Ezreal to kill these tanks, and also Bjergsen is diving the backline, so there's no one to really kill Crazy in the fights, because it's just double lift basically hitting him on his own. So their comp is not built to straight up 5-on-5 ever, and that's really a big issue. You need like a perfect flank, basically.
Yeah.
But now we got that QSS we talked about before from Logan.
That's huge.
We got the Hourglass, so we have defensive options now to stop this flank from one-shotting anyone.
Well, the fight gets even better for ESC Ever right now. You know, I mean, TSM obviously still in the lead in a big way. They're way up on turrets, they're way up on gold, still way up on kills, but it is the last, 10 minutes or so have been all ESC Ever.
And now, Team Solo Mid is actually looking to swap lanes. They want Bjergsen on top side to push in for himself, just to have pressure on tower, and you just want Doublelift to push the bottom lane in, and then he can rotate with his jungle and support to the 2 side lanes. They're gonna show 4-man here. This means Ever can also see, okay, it's gonna be 4-man. We have seen them push it in. We know what's happening. But you wanna single out Ever.
Oh, TP actually Crazy coming from behind. We'll see what they can do.
He's on double lift.
There's the ult. Yellowstar on his own. Double taking damage from that camp as well. Yellowstar flashes, gets hooked by Crazy, gets taken out. Ever winning yet another team fight, unless Hanser can try to turn it around with that Fiora, but he's on his own. Key goes in there a little bit too deep, but they do trade. Bjergsen will ult himself. Hanser trying to zone Loken out. He's going to go over the wall. That's a good place to be away from a Fiora, but it is a double kill coming in from Doublelift. Doublelift grabs the triple. He's turning this fight around in a big way. There's the Quadra. Can he go for the Penta? He's only got Crazy getting back to his turret. Haunter setting it up. Pentakill for double lift. And TSM takes that lead right back in a big way.
And it looked pretty bad at first in this fight here, but then double lift and the rest of Team Solo Mid kiting back. This late game Israel here, fully stacked tier.
Helps.
Just poking. It definitely helps.
Yep.
Just poking and poking and poking until ever overextend slightly.
Yeah, and I mean, now that's going to probably be an inhibitor. That's going to be a lead that really seems insurmountable by Ever now.
We've said that before, though.
We have, but we really mean it this time.
This time we're serious. All right, let's see the fight. I like this engage because you get that team fight one more time from Ever. Grump dealing damage, Doublelift is locked up, he's not able to do a whole lot, and the Nautilus is in the front line. All you can hit if your Team Solo Mid is the Nautilus, and that's the perfect positioning for Ever. And now, they do start overextending, Key jumping in, dying early on. Temp can't really do a whole lot, and Crazy was no longer the target. And just look at Doublelift sitting in the back here, waiting for someone to drop low and for Ever to split up. Then you start single them out with the Ezreal. Gets the kill onto Temp. Crazy in the end. We have Red buff. Slow from Iceborne Gauntlet. Nothing he can do. And beautiful pentakill from Doublelift.
Yeah.
Looking tricky in the start.
Yeah. It was a little bit, and I mean, by no means this has been a very clean game by either team. I mean, TSM giving up a lot of that big lead they developed, but, you know, really kind of maybe putting a period on the end of this one with a pentakill for Doublelift. And after a team fight like that, I mean, we'll see what happens, but you'd think TSM would kind of have the momentum now.
They've been having it almost all game long, we would think at least, and yet I feel like it's so often been the...
Doublelift has a lot of kills.
Let's see. Breaks their BT shield only. But it's been like kind of the suboptimal plays from Team Solo Mid, where they've been getting a little bit, but not as much as they could have been getting.
Yeah.
Until now, this outplay basically from Doublelift and the rest of the team in the last fight. Good positioning for him. 4 items completed. Last Whisper coming in like he's so strong. And we have hit that late game point where Ever technically shouldn't be able to do a whole lot when you're this far ahead with your AD carry.
Well, I mean, we've seen though that they are, you know, for the most part, a pretty good team fighting team. TSM really can't give these guys, you know, any opportunities because they will take them. But right now, it seems like we're seeing a pretty methodical closure of this game by TSM. They're just going to run up to the Baron while Hanser pushes down the bot lane.
I mean, we see a bit of a change because now they have been putting pink wards in the river near the Baron. They've put up the option of going for Baron.
There's no TP for Hanser, though.
Crazy as well as running.
Yeah, no teleport for Crazy either. They're trying to get up there. He's going to have a hard time catching up to that Fiora. Ever pushes him off the Baron for the moment anyway, but TSM can go after this fight. Hanser coming in. There's the ult onto Key. He's not going to last long. True shot barrage comes through. Nice snipe by Doublelift onto Key. And yeah, Ever not in a position to win this team fight, but you know, TSM is just so strong right now. They can bait that fight all day.
Over and over and over. You have the pink wards in position. You force them to move out. Doublelift kind of goes your kill, my kill again. 10-1 now on this Ezreal. Super fed.
Yeah, there's a pretty massive scoreline on Doublelift's Ezreal, and they're going to go after the Baron again.
As long as Team Solo Mid disengage from Baron to take the fight, it's a good play. It's very risky opting into a 50-50 smite. Yellowstar's going to zone. They can now go for the fight.
Yep, that's right. Crazy kind of on his own in the middle of this fight. He's tanky, but he's not tanky enough to 1v5. Just jumps onto Bjergsen. Ever having to back away now. It's 3v5. TSM can just turn back and put more pressure onto that Baron if they want to. Shot barrage, just taking a chunk out of some of the members. And are they going to go in this Doublelift? Wow, getting aggressive. that's
a little bit too manly.
A little bit risky there,
A little bit too manly.
You got a pentacle, buddy. That's great, but that's maybe a little bit too much.
So they go back to base one more time.
Yeah.
Kind of reset it again. Only one Nexus turret.
Yeah, that's something we didn't mention, that through all that, a Nexus turret did fall just to minions in Ever's base.
But let's just see TSM go back to pushing side lanes and then set up the Baron one more time. At this point, though, sell your Doran's Blade, sell your Corruption Potion. You don't need them anymore.
Sell your
ring.
Doran's Blade? What are you,
the Doran's
crazy?
Ring. I know, the one ring to rule them all, but still, get a pink ward, man.
It might not be bad, yeah.
You don't want the 80 HP the Doran's
You
ring
might not need that Doran's Blade that
60
much
HP,
if you're Logan right now.
60 HP even.
Oh, 60. I thought you were an analyst.
Yeah, sorry. The numbers, man, the numbers. Pretty sure Doran's Blade is 80, though.
Oh.
Unless I'm completely wrong on all of it.
I have no idea, so I'll just believe whatever you tell me. Another Baron attempt coming in for TSM. And we'll see if there's anything at all Ever can do. They see it going on.
Crazy has TP.
He does.
So does Temp. They can actually go in and stop it. But TSM might try and look to finish the game, or at least take inhib. If they're forcing their other members to be busy from Ever and just stop the recalls, they get a TP now.
All right, Temp comes down with his ultimate to get a little bit closer to Hanser and Bjergsen, trying to do what they can to save that inhibitor, but TSM's just going to 3-man the Baron. Loken, Key, and Ares going to try to do something about it. TSM backs off of it right away, though. Baron's still unclaimed by anyone. TSM chasing Ever. Meanwhile, down in the bot lane, Bjergsen and Hanser still pressuring that bottom inhibitor. Yeah, Loken just chunked out. There's really not much Ever can do. There's the TP. They really want the Baron this time.
Yeah, you're just getting pulled around the map, honestly. Go stop Baron, go stop inhib, stop Baron again, and you're not strong enough. You don't have the resources to do it at this point. No ulti from Temp, that's what they forced out. One more time, though, they're setting up the Baron. They should just disengage and take the fight, unless they can keep Ares busy.
Yeah, teleport coming in from Bjergsen. Ares trapped by that Lissandra ultimate, gets destroyed pretty quick.
Good way to keep him busy, I guess.
I suppose. I mean, they'll be able to take this Baron eventually, you'd think, although they're starting to take some decent damage. Scarin taking a lot. There's the culling, use, Key. Magical Dreams his way out. Yellow Star pops that out. Very, very tanky as Crazy backs away. Hanser and Doublelift trying to get into the back lines onto Temp and Key. Temp tries to back away. Crazy comes over the wall to stop Hanser. There's the exhaust, pulled back in again. Still healed, still healthy enough. Loken in the back lines trying to be a hero, though. Doublelift goes low. Loken gets the kill onto Doublelift. Bjergsen lobs out too. There's the kill for Temp. There's a double kill for Temp. And incredibly, TSM gets aced. Are you kidding me? What is going on?
Dude, you lied to everyone. You said this was supposed to be a win.
I mean, they can't finish the game. They've got to go through the entire, mid lane.
But that's a lot of
second
gold.
turn of the game. They can probably take the inhibitor, right?
You get inhib right now, and you stop another Baron from Team Solo Mid. Again, we are constantly looking at a composition who wants to split push, getting into team fights over and over and over and over. I didn't hate the Baron start because they popped the Graves instantly. But
are they going to go for it?
I mean, can they finish it? They got 15 seconds.
They actually have time. Are you serious? Are you actually telling me right now that TSM is going to lose the ESC Ever? They've got minions. There goes the first Nexus turret. Doublelift back in 6. Yellow Star's up. There goes the second Nexus turret. All they need to do is focus on the Nexus. They just need to focus on the Nexus. And ESC Ever, challenger team from Korea, will take out TSM. They get it. Ever, somehow, some way, they were down like 8,000 gold in the early game.
They're down all game
long. They won it.
Level 1.
I cannot believe it. The coach is ecstatic. Can't blame that guy. What an insane game to start off the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. Doublelift with the pentakill. ESC Ever coming in and taking the win.
You lied to us.
I'm sorry. I thought I was telling the truth. We're going to throw it over to the experts on the analyst desk to try to figure out what's going on in just a second. But Deficio, your last word on this one.
Team Solo Mid's shot calling is a mess, and that's why they end up losing this game. They were so far ahead.
Yeah, they were so far ahead. I don't know, they had 2 inhibitors down on the side of Ever.
They were pulling them to Baron back to base.
They were baiting successfully.
They could just keep the Fiora on the bottom lane and no one could stop Hanser.
That's right, and I don't know. I mean, let's hear what the experts have to say, guys, over at the desk.
I mean, what can we say?
What
the Baron,
absolute disaster.
The Baron strikes again, but there were bigger problems before the Baron. TSM did not play the map at all.
All right, so credit to TSM. I actually think that what their coaching staff did here in terms of preparing them to play this game, we almost never see these deep ward invades in the lane swap anymore. They were able to catch somebody out. And like I said, Ever uses globals on cooldown. Soon as TF hits level 6, they start trying to make plays, but they're already behind. And Bjergsen reacts really well from the teleport. But everything else from TSM from that point forward was appalling.
Yep.
Right, we have a replay that can actually highlight one of those plays. I mean, TSM built up a great lead. Let's pull the first replay up onto your screen. This is 25 minutes into the game. TSM already had a very strong lead, and this is where they get turned on.
See,
We can just roll the clip right now, and it just highlights some key issues that TSM is having. One, they shouldn't even be here, 5v5. You don't play into Ever's hand. If you look at what Doublelift is doing on the side, he's trying to deal with the jungler Graves, who is incredibly tanky. He wastes his ultimate. Look at Bjergsen right now. Right when he goes in for a 5-man W, if Doublelift still had his ulti available, maybe they can win a team fight. But they're so disjointed in their approach, and they don't respect the CC chaining from TF, from Bard, in literally every single fight. They split push to open up the game, and then they go for the Baron Fiesta right after. But TSM don't understand how to play to their win condition or the win condition of their opponents.
Well, this is what I was talking about, is that every single game from TSM is the 5-man death ball. For some reason, they always think they need to get together as 5 people in the mid game. You had an extremely fed Fiora. Don't walk into a fight, like you're saying, with the crowd control.
And they have so much
every few seconds, it's a Nautilus auto, or a Bard Q, or a gold card. The longer you're in these fights, you're just going to get stunned over and over and over again, and that allows this Lucian to do a lot of work from the back line.
12-kill Ezreal in there. Doublelift was fed to hell.
But it works if you kite towards you, especially if you look at this. Imagine if they split, like Fiora on the side, maybe Lissandra somewhere else, Lissandra enemy. If they engage on you and they try to force, you can opt out of fights with Cocoon, with sending Alistar in. You could have sent Alistar in to suicide, peel the Graves away, and did Baron literally 4 times in a row. But TSM was like, nope, no, we're gonna turn. We're gonna fight here to get one of the guys. Oh look, they still have 20 million forms of CC left.
We're gonna hopefully get to that replay. Let's pull up the pentakill because I want to hit on this Ezreal penta from Doublelift first of all. Starts off maybe looking a little scary for Yellow Star.
It starts off good for Ever. Ever should get the kills here and then back out. As soon as Bjergsen appeared, just like get the hell out of there.
Yeah, just the key issues here again. Look at the chain CC. It's so hard to get away now from TSM when they get in too deep, and then this portal kind of turns it all around.
Yeah, it went a bit deep.
Yeah. Monty, what's your take on this team fight? ESC, you said in the pregame, they're aggressive over and over and over.
Bjergsen saved this team fight. I mean, he played the Lissandra really well. It's actually one of my favorite champions to watch Bjergsen play, and I know he can split push on it, but getting in that position, in the choke point, in the tri-brush, with his W, with his ultimate, allowed Doublelift to kind of turn this fight in the end and stall them from pursuing too far forward with the Bard. I think it was a mistake for Key to go in the first place, but then it was capitalized on very well by Bjergsen.
It was just risky. He wanted to get the double stun on the Fiora there, but if that the cost of the failure of that play was just the entire team fight, so that's a risky play to take. But the Ever doesn't seem to be afraid to.
No, they are not afraid.
They're not.
They just attacked.
And we see, like, you know, coming into this game, we say Ever sometimes just ridiculously aggressive. They played that level 1 really poorly. They even had a ward, and they still tried to attack them at the Grump. Like, why would you even do that? You just gave up a kill. Just stop pressing the no more pedal to the metal here. But that's the only way they play.
We will get back to talk a little bit more about this matchup in a moment or two. I believe an interview is ready with Key on stage.
Yeah, thank you very much, Trevor. It definitely is ready. First off, congratulations, Key. Fantastic taking down TSM. In your own words, even with a pentakill against you, how did you guys pull that game back?
첫 번째로 너무나 축하하고 진짜 갔다 왔다 하는 경기였고 펜타킬까지 당했는데 어떻게 해서 팀이 이겼던 것 같아?
일단 이긴 게 너무 좀 벅차서 몸이 좀 지렸고요. 그러니까
He's a little bit nervous, guys, just because they've won right now. He can't handle it at the moment, so if you'll bear with him.
그리고 뭐라 했죠? 질문이 뭐였죠?
어떻게 이겨난 것 같은지 어떻게 해서 이겼어?
그러니까 잘 모르겠는데 진짜 집중을 좀 많이 해서 이긴 것 같아요.
He said, I'm not actually sure how we won, but I think it's just because we concentrated really hard, and that's how they were able to pull off the win.
Well, I can understand that you're nervous. A fantastic game. Maybe it's easier for you to talk about the Bard you played here. How was it being able to really influence that game on a champion you love so much?
그러면은 지금 좀 긴장이 되고 있는 상태니까 그럼 바드에 대해서 좀 얘기하자고 하네. 그 바드가 너한테 얼마나 중요한 챔피언이었고 그거에 대해서 좀 얘기해줘.
그러니까 바드를 많이 했는데 최근 들어서 많이 안 했는데 오랜만에 한 건데 이렇게 좀 잘 돼서 매우 좋고. 바드는 진짜 너무 좋은 것 같아요.
Okay, first off, he really likes Bard. He said, I used to play him a lot, actually, but recently he hasn't been. And so pulling him out in this game, he was kind of a little bit worried, but he's very glad that it worked out because he really likes Bard a lot.
Definitely does. Final question. I mean, Key, you guys came into IEM Cologne as underdogs and you won the whole thing. Now you take down TSM in your first game. How far can your team go here?
이제 IEM 컬론 때도 완전 다커스로 왔는데 그때는 우승까지 갔었잖아. 여기에서도 이제 TSM 꺾고 다음 경기를 들어갈 건데 여기서는 어디까지 갈 것 같아?
일단 처음에 너무 말려서 좀 힘들었는데 말리지 않으면 일단 그래도 4강까지는 갈 수 있을 것 같은.
He said in the beginning of the game they did get caught out quite a bit, but if they just work on that part of it, then possibly they want to be able to make it to the quarterfinals.
Well, I'm very excited to see what you guys can do. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Susie, for helping out as well. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Sharks, Susie, and congratulations to Key once more. I do want to jump to the third replay that we talked about just before the interview was set up, and it was the big Baron play that cost TSM the game. Let's pull it up onto your screen, and Crepo, if you can break down some of the mechanics here of how TSM got punished so hard.
I mean, just TSM kept turning over and over again instead of finishing the Baron, and then at one point you could just really feel this great disturbance in the shot calling. It's just like a million TSM fans suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silent. Something terrible happened and TSM threw the game.
Well, look at this. I mean, they spent so much time going to the Baron. Svenskron's already so low at the start of this fight because they turn over and over and over, let the Baron heal instead of just using Yellow Star to play defense and stop them from getting into the pit.
That flash was absolutely fundamental from the Nautilus to win that fight. He flashes over CCs while Bjergsen's stuck in the back. These guys are actually really good at stepping forward and backwards in fights, knowing which cooldowns are up. They never layer any CC. At no given point was any Nautilus snare combined with a stun overlap. It's always pause in between the CCs. So snare into stun from TF, into double stun from Bard, into a new card that gets drawn. Suddenly Riptide comes out. So much crowd control, and TSM was just lost. They didn't account for any of these niche abilities like the Tempered Fate, the smoke screens in these fights, and they were like, yeah, let's fight. We lost.
And that pure aggression is what finished the game, because we were even saying, it's like, there's no way they can finish the game now. Most teams would have got to that stage, like, took a Nexus turn, and it's like, okay, time to back away. Everyone's spawning, but that was actually like, no, hell no, we just carried on hitting it.
And Ever went on to finish the game after punishing that. They closed the map out. Quick shout out to, if Plays.tv was being used as a Chrome extension, it would have allowed Ever or Doublelift to record a clip direct from his browser with a hotkey and share it on Reddit or Twitter. Go check out Plays.tv, just do a search in the Google Play Store, and you can share all of your best plays on social media. TSM fall at the first hurdle. We're going to an ad break, and when we come back, it'll be Origin against Royal Never Give Up.